Now, let's see. Where were we? Ah, yes. That's right. After boarding the luxury vessel the Vigilant and setting sail for the anchor's chain, our heroes enjoyed several days of relaxation and partying with the varied and madcap individuals aboard the ship. However, all good things must come to an end. On their fourth day of travel, the ship picked up a man floating in the water, an individual named Antoine Chuma, who told them that he had been kidnapped, held prisoner aboard a ship, and that he had been attacked by a hulking monster covered in red scales. He was taken to see the ship's doctor, but the party worried he was transforming into a lycanthrope, so Clay attempted to use Cure Wounds, which had no obvious effect, and Glimki used Lay on Hands. While doing so, he felt something thrashing beneath the man's skin, and it apparently had the desired effect, as Antoine seemed to be feeling much better after that. On what was supposed to be their final night of travel, the ship ran aground in a web of tanglekelp, a thick plant known for trapping ships at sea and hosting nests of aquatic spiderkin, which soon attacked the Vigilant and its crew. In an effort to help, Faunalyn rained Molotov cocktails from above, and Clay used divine magic to burn the spiders. Glimki severed the arm of their leader with a well-timed critical hit. Unfortunately, the spiders weren't the only ones with eyes on the Vigilant that night, as a strange misty portal opened upon the deck of the ship, and 3 individuals emerged. 2 of them were humanoids with star-themed masks, and the third, a hulking monster covered in red scales. This monster was ordered to attack Faunalyn, and though she fought valiantly, she was no match for this foe and seemed poised to eat her, only to suddenly drop her at the last moment and return to the ship. Meanwhile, Clay and Glimki ran through the portal and discovered it led to another boat a ways off. Glimki attempted to explore the ship, while Clay engaged with one of the humanoids, but he proved to be a dangerous foe and quickly dispatched of her. Glimki jumped in to try and help, but was sent flying overboard for his troubles. At that point, just as things were growing increasingly dire, the other humanoid reappeared, carrying a strange glass cube that Clay and Faunalyn had previously seen in the room of one of the other passengers. This masked man ordered his companion to throw Clay overboard, but luckily Glimki had enough healing left to prevent Clay from dying, and they watched as this dark ship sailed off into the night.
You already said all that.
Sorry, Klob, it's just that I'm currently treading water in an Olympic-sized cauldron, so you'll have to forgive me if I sometimes get confused. On with the story.
Come gather round, travelers, and sit on the stoop. We'll tell you a story about Bod Soup. 3 lovable scamps in our traveling troupe. We'll tell you a story about Bod Soup.
It's Bod Soup, featuring Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, Jordan Johnsen as Glimki Treefellow, Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark, featuring Shenanigans, Bullshit, The Lord of Parties, Locusts, Keaton Thompson, musical guest, Solemnly Henkel, and your host, Zach Meikle. Ladies and gentlemen, Bod Soup.
And welcome back to Bard Soup. Huge shout outs to Q for the intro. We love it. If you have an intro that you want to submit, you can email us at shazam.mp4@gmail.com or, whatever. Message us on Instagram or something if you just have an idea and don't want to record it yourself. We join our heroes in the hull of the Vigilant. Clay and Faunalyn were previously held in the infirmary, but after being stabilized and receiving some medical treatment, you've been transported into a larger storage area where several of the other injured crew members are being looked after, are recovering. It is cold and it is damp, but there's a few lanterns hanging from walls, and the ship's doctor, Dituro Natu, is walking amongst this group and looking after people as they require. And I will say, Clay, you were conscious. Faunalyn, you were previously unconscious, and we will join you as you sort of wake up in the hull of the ship, and Glimki is sitting there watching the two of you rest.
Oh shit. Glimki.
Oh,
Glimki.
what happened?
You're awake.
Yeah, that sucked. I thought I was gonna die. None of the gods came to my aid. I specifically requested yours. Didn't show.
To be fair, I don't know if he would have shown up for me either.
I guess his thing is coming after you die, so maybe I should have just stayed dead for a bit.
Well, at least you didn't stay dead long. We got lucky there.
Yeah, first things first. That creature, it cut me and it felt foul. Can you do the exorcism thing that you did on Antonius,
Sure.
and Andromedus, the sick bastard?
Yeah, and Glimki will... I've had a time to rest now, right?
It's only been a couple hours, so I would say not yet a long rest.
Sorry, Faunalyn, I don't really have any energy left to attempt that kind of healing magic. I don't have enough in me.
Oh, that I wouldn't want to exhaust you.
Even if I wanted to, there's nothing left.
Here, Faunalyn, let me try again. I can try.
Okay, Clay, thank you. I know who my friends are.
Like some spell slots left, and if we're gonna rest soon, I might as well use them up.
I'm kidding.
She says that as an aside, but she casts Cure Wounds again.
Sure. How much HP does Faunalyn get back?
1d8 plus 4. 8 HP.
Nice.
Okay, Faunalyn, you are at 9 HP now.
I feel amazing.
Do I detect any weird thing like Glimki detected? The lycanthropy or whatever?
I would say no. You watch as there are these large bandages wrapped around Faunalyn's abdomen. There were 3 puncture marks, as if the creature was holding her like a bowling ball. And you can't really see if your healing magic has an impact on those puncture wounds, but some of the color returns to her face. But beyond that, I'd say you don't really see any obvious impact.
Okay, I assume I feel nasty and cruddy. Do I feel diseased?
You feel sore. Your stomach hurts, but it's not like you're, coughing up bile or anything.
Last time my tummy hurt, I had gotten poopy in the mouth hole and had the sewer plague. So, bodes ill. Glimki, take a nap or something. I don't want to become
No,
frog
I'm good.
sick. So,
I'm good.
no, can you rest up so you can fix me, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. Everybody needs to.
Yeah. I was
Ugh.
also bitten in the eye by something. It's kind of itchy. Does it look okay?
Ew.
Ugh.
Yeah, Clay for the first time turns to look at you, and their eye is just the size of like an orange.
Yikes.
What bit you in the eye?
One of those spider things, I think.
Oh, the crabs. Oh.
Yeah.
What were they?
Gross.
Crabs? Spiders? What? Both?
They looked...
Spider crabs?
How many legs did it have?
They had 8,
8 legs.
and they didn't have claws.
Wait.
Why was I
what?
thinking crab?
Well, when you first looked down, you saw a little bit of a narrative flare on my part, where you saw small little creatures that at first you're like, are those crabs? And they weren't. But
So they were all
they weren't.
spiders?
They were never crabs.
Ew,
Oh.
yuck. That's way grosser.
What if it laid
somehow.
eggs?
Oh,
Oh, my eye feels itchy.
that's disgusting.
I really hope it didn't lay eggs in there.
Oh god, don't give anybody any ideas.
Imagine a billion baby spiders in your eye. That
You
would be
stop,
so
stop,
gross.
stop.
Stop.
Stop. Yuck. You need to lie down.
Agreed. Hang on. What happened? What did everybody see? Because what I saw was those guys come out, sick their dog thing at me, and then mostly just kelp in my own blood, is pretty much what I saw. So I don't really know what happened. It's kind of been a blur.
Yeah, how am I back on the vigilant now? Like last thing I remember,
yes.
I ran through that portal. Did you see that? That's crazy.
Yeah, I was
That
through
was
the portal too.
Oh,
You went through the portal?
Yeah.
I didn't see much on the other side.
I thought that maybe if I went over there and found their cannon reserves, maybe I could blow their whole boat up. But there wasn't really anything over there. And then I came back up top, and Clay was about to be thrown into the sea.
Oh,
And instead, I was thrown into the sea. So that is how that turned out.
Why aren't we dead?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, I hit the water and was feeling okay. And then Clay came in a little after, and I got them some energy back.
thank you. I remember that.
Someone picked us up. You were already in the infirmary when we got here.
But what stopped the bad guys?
Yeah, who were those guys? They came out of nowhere.
Who were they, and what stopped them? Because that thing wanted me dead. I don't understand why I'm not dead.
Well, remember the lycanthrope guy?
Yes, Antony or something.
And he was talking about like a red scaled monster thing. Well, that was
Yeah, that was the
definitely
thing.
that.
That's what I'm saying. I have the sickness, yes.
Well, did they
Did they
take
come
that
after
guy?
him?
What was his name? Antony?
Yeah.
Did they take Antony? Is he here?
From one bed over, this frail-looking man with ratty hair and these 3 claw marks across his chest is, "My name is Antoine." That's not what he sounded like before, but that's what he sounds like this episode.
Oh, Jesus.
The illness makes you French? Oh, just kill me.
There goes our French crowd.
I'm kidding. We love the French.
Okay, so they didn't come for Antoine, clearly, because he's still here. But I don't know. When they were sailing off, I saw the 3 of them on the deck. There was the lean one, the red scaled toad thing, and then there was a shorter one, right? And he was like, I don't know, he had like a glass cube or something. I don't know if it was like a focus or something.
Oh, shit.
Wait. A glass cube.
Yeah. Did it give off like weird energy? Did it feel weird looking at it?
Well, it was like glass,
Oh my
I think, and it had like, I don't know, like a core.
Okay, let's go. I'm gonna haul my feeble ass out of bed.
Yeah, me too.
You are both on the verge of death.
Yeah, someone else is gonna be on the verge of death in a minute. Mr. Savito Wale had a glass cube and he assured us that it was innocuous and he was just passing it off to a friend. Well, I think we met his friends. Let's go kill him, beat him up. Let's go talk.
30% of the words that you just said, I don't know. What is a Savito Wale?
Savito Wale is a Minotaur man.
He wasn't at the party.
Okay.
Yes, which, by the way, good plan, Lord of Parties plan, because apparently it successfully determined who is a bad guy. It's always the introverts.
It is Savito Wale.
Yep, he had the cube, and then the cube was just used to annihilate us. So let's go get him.
Now that you mention it, I do remember him being the last name on the list that I wrote down in the captain's office when I was copying over.
Yeah.
Which I know it's hard to believe they were in alphabetical order, considering the captain can't read. But let's go interrogate them.
Let's go.
Some sort of artifact of, what was it, Karasar?
Yes, Karsas, yes. Oh, it was. It had religious significance.
And he was worried that someone was going to steal it.
Well, looks like somebody did.
Wow.
Also, guys, obviously we can go talk to Savito Wale, but I think when we're feeling a little better in the morning or when we get to land, there's probably an important thing that we should do. We've been fighting demons and dragons and a whole myriad of other random shit. And it's, I think, becoming pretty obvious that the more that we pull at these threads, the more dangerous this is getting. So it's probably a good thing if we sit down and just talk about what we can do. I feel like we've been fighting side by side without really understanding how the hell we work together.
I think
That's
that's a
fair
really
point.
powerful idea because I was in the water about to drown, and I distinctly, actually, I was going to do this really cool thing where I piloted the beast by seizing its spinal column. Didn't pan out, but it would have been cool. And I looked up and I saw Clay like casting
Oh.
magic that I didn't know Clay could cast. I thought Clay was more of like a cantrippy type Healy person, and then Clay was like making fire appear.
See, and now I understand why it seems like you have an allergy to being physically violent. You're a necromancer. You wanted to operate a dead body?
Yes, so
I
I
didn't know
never
you could do
studied
that.
necromancy. It's more of it was just kind of a recreational interest that I adopted in the moment because what I wanted to do, and I'm going to explain while we walk down the hallway the plan that involves seizing a spinal column.
Yeah, could you give me a line read where you are about to like finish describing and then suddenly break off mid-sentence?
And I think the vodka helped because of it.
You walk through the door of Savito Wale's stateroom, and it's like the room has contracted somehow. It's like the shadows are longer, and you see crumpled in the corner. He looks small and frail compared to how he looked the last time you saw him. He was older, but he had a sort of lasting, latent strength. There are no signs of that now, as Savito Wale's corpse looks withered and frail in the corner of the room.
Oh,
The trunk he was carrying with him is open on the bed, and the cube is gone.
Can we shuffle into the room and shut the door behind us?
Sure.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I don't want somebody walking in on this at the moment as we talk this out.
As Faunalyn loudly announced that you were going to go kill Savito Wale.
Yes.
Then walks down the hall detailing her necromancy intentions.
And Glimki's starting to realize that she is in fact not a necromancer at all.
Is he like very clearly dead, or can I like run up and like check for vitals?
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to check regardless, but he is not moving. He looks cold. It's been maybe a few hours since the initial attack on the ship,
Oh,
and evidently with the fire and the continued efforts to tend to the injured, no one stopped to check on Savito, and yeah, he is well and truly dead.
sorry. What was the killing blow? Like, is he injured or it's not clear?
He looks drained of his essence.
Sort of, yeah. I'd say, Clay, you look at him and you see that there are like these dark marks on his skin. He's covered in fur, of course, but kind of just like these dark stripes almost. It looks almost like he was bound temporarily, though you don't see any rope in the room. And there is sort of the impression of a hand around his throat. But it is not red like he's been choked out, but it is pale, as if something pulled upon his life essence.
Oh no.
This was your friend, Svita Wale?
No, not our friend. He didn't come to the party.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah, I was working on it. He might have come to the next one. It's a shame.
true, we did invite him to dinner.
And he
Yeah.
is, or was, the owner of the cube?
Yeah, this chest, he was keeping it in there.
Yeah, he was commissioned by the Corvus blood mine to move it alongside a document. Is that correct, Zach?
No document. And just to be clear, Corvus Bloodmine was a name of an individual, not of a mining company, which it sounds like when you say the Corvus Bloodmine.
It's unclear whether this blood mine is like an organization, whether it's like a place, like a mine. It's not really clear, but yeah, he was commissioned to transport it, and he said it was his friend, and his friend was trustworthy. And we were like suspicious of it. We were like, "What kind of friend would ask you to do this?" I think Clay said, and he was like, "No, I trust this individual with my life, basically."
And who is the individual?
He didn't name him.
I don't know.
Did he?
His friend, if he named him, I didn't pay attention.
And did the cube have a name?
The cube was the cube was to do with this church.
Carousel.
Karasar. Yeah. Karasar. And she's like messed up. Do you know Karasar? You know of Karasar, Glimki, I assume, or is the Divine Octad less common in Dwells?
Karasar, the half-mad goddess.
Exactly. She's half mad, known as half mad, irascible. Either way, she's unpredictable, right? So, goddess of war and peace, as I understand, and Clay as the priest of the group do jump in. But from what I understand, all about maintaining peace, but then really excited about war when the wartime comes.
And this is their cube?
I don't really know how that factors into. I think it's an artifact of the church. Does that sound correct, Clay? Honestly, I was so oriented that whole conversation about getting this guy to the party.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
he
fair.
really knew either. He didn't say anything. He just said that his friend asked him to transfer this to Sarposen.
True. Okay, well, since we already have our fingerprints all over this crime scene, why don't we rifle through his shit and see if we can find any clues?
Yeah, by all means. Sorry, he's supposed to be meeting someone in Sarposen?
He was bringing this art of the cube to Sarposen,
And remind me, where are we landing?
Kovaris.
And then it was supposed to continue on to Sarposen?
Uh-huh. But
The
I don't
boat,
know about
right?
the ship's condition.
I see.
I don't think it's going to make it there.
Yeah.
No, he didn't make it either.
Well, I mean, if we were interested in pulling at this thread, at least we know there's somebody that's going to be waiting for it or be wondering where their package is. Maybe they'll have
Mhm.
some more answers for us.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, do we need to, or do we think those guys are going to come back and try to kill us again, or is it kind of just a one and done theft thing?
Well,
I think they got what they wanted.
I don't know what this cube was capable of, but I mean, as soon as they got it, they left. And they left that Antoine guy here, so that clearly was of no interest to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it must have been about the cube, but how did they know it was here?
Were they following Antoine?
Did Antoine know it was here?
Yes.
Maybe Antoine knew Savito and the cube?
Okay, I think we need to talk to Antoine, and I think we need to rifle through this man's belongings.
Okay.
Well, let's take his money too.
Well,
If you have any?
Yes, we're poor, Glimki, and the way you stop being poor is by getting money.
okay. I don't know if I agree with that, but
You disagree that the way to not be poor is to get money?
well, this guy's barely been dead 5 hours. Like, maybe we give it to his friend who's waiting in Sarposen?
His friend, I'm sorry, they're transferring an artifact,
That got him killed.
debatably evil goddess that someone's willing to kill over.
Well,
And you want to go give this man's entailment to an unnamed person on an island we're not going to?
is there really any evil gods? You know?
Yeah, for sure there is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I guess it's a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know about good and evil, but they attacked the ship. They killed the crew members.
I mean, but the guy that you're trying to steal money from, or I guess it's not really stealing now, he's dead, but the guy that you're taking the money from, he wasn't killing anybody. In fact, he got killed.
Well, why don't we rifle through his things?
Yeah,
And
you do
see
that.
if there even
I'll
is any
go
money?
stand watch.
Okay.
I don't need to know. What I don't know won't hurt me.
Love that plan. Clay, let's go steal some shit. Rifle.
Yeah, you go digging through his belongings. He's got a trunk at the foot of his bed, and you find just various sets of clothes, and buried at the bottom of that, you find a little money pouch. It has 14 gold and 11 silver. And I'd say, Clay, while you are examining him, you do see he is wearing a ring with a ruby on it, a ruby ring on his finger, if you want to take that as well.
Whoa.
Any like distinguishing engravings or anything on the ring?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation -1, 17.
Clay, you see this ring and you maybe like manipulate his finger ever so slightly to get a better look at it. You want to see. Do you take it off, I guess? That's my question.
I'm going to look at it on his finger first.
Okay. You look at it and you don't initially see any markings or an engraving or anything. But as you are examining, you see that there appears to be barely perceptible a slight indentation where the gemstone meets the ring.
Can I pick at it?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I take the ring off and I look at it closer.
Yeah, you slide it off his finger. It comes off almost of its own accord. His hands, which seemed large and powerful when you first met him, have shriveled up and the ring just freely slides off.
Oh.
And you dig the nail of your thumb into this indent, and you pry it open, and the ruby swings open on hinges that you previously did not see. And inside there's a slight recess, and there is an engraving of a hooded lantern.
Hooded lantern. Do I recognize it?
Give me a history check.
Oof. History. 7?
You do not recognize it.
Do either of you know what this symbol is? He's wearing a ring with like a secret compartment in it.
Ooh,
Do we?
secret.
Go ahead, make history checks.
Yeah.
Womp womp. That's a 5.
13.
The three of you look at it, and I think you are well versed enough in the ways of the world to know that this symbol probably is more than just a simple engraving, given the hidden nature of it. But the nature of this symbol, it's what it implies, you are not sure of.
Who do we know that's worldly that we could ask? The captain, maybe?
The captain.
Maybe.
I mean, she did allow this person on her ship. Maybe she knows more about who he is.
Perez, maybe?
Oh, Ptolemy's an imbecile. Perez, sure. Ptolemy's an imbecile, but he is worldly. He's a storyteller. He might have come across something like this before.
I think Tom's smarter than you think. He's a lyrical genius.
If you say so. I heard his rendition of Berg the Snapper wasn't for me.
Teach their own. But yeah, worth asking.
Zach, did I find anything anywhere else in his room? Or is it mainly the ring?
That's it. Yeah, you look around. I mean, there's like various garments and personal belongings, but other than the money, purse, and the ring, he doesn't appear to have anything of great value.
How much was in the money purse?
14 gold, 11 silver.
This guy was broke.
Man's walking around with like 1,400 cash.
Do I find his ticket?
Sure.
Does it have the drinks package included?
It does not, sadly.
American parties indeed. I like the way you're thinking
Yeah.
now.
Okay, I add the ring to my inventory.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it in case we come across the person he was gonna meet. Maybe I can give it to them and let them know what happened.
Cool. Where do you go from here?
Can I take a long rest?
100%.
I don't know if you guys have more questioning to do, but I'm gonna go back to our room and I'm gonna put on my armor in case any other wild
Me too.
bullshit happens in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever taking it off again, even to sleep.
Yeah.
You will become so stinky. Be like me and just become really fast, and then you don't even really need to wear armor because you're so fast.
You
I do grab
died.
my umbrella, though. Multiple times. I have come close to death, yes. Yeah, not even just tonight. That was like the 4th time. I think I need a god. Can I be honest, you guys? Like, you both have gods that let you do cool things. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, but you're fast.
You know what I can do? I can extract memories from my own brain and then be fast. Yeah. I'm really fast at throwing myself off. That was the 2nd time in my life I've jumped off of something to avoid being killed by something.
Well, keep doing
Which
that
is
if it's
weird that
working.
it's a habit.
Mhm.
I guess it didn't really work this time.
No.
Well, yeah, this is why we need to talk.
True.
And I'm honestly, I'm sorry I kind of just bailed and jumped through the portal. That was probably a short-sighted maneuver.
Well, you know what I've learned is that I'm best when there's an ally nearby, kind of distracting, and then I can be kind of quick and stabby. But to be
Yeah.
fair, that fight, I'm also best when I have my rapier on me, and I was wielding candlesticks.
And to be honest, I'm also better suited for when we're kind of pack tactics, because I can help deflect blows with my shield. And I mean, we can have a better discussion later, but yeah, we should have a game plan next time, so we are not just running around with our heads cut off.
Yeah, that really caught us off guard.
Yeah, we should run some drills. When I was learning how to fight.
Ooh, drills! Hell yeah!
Yeah, I ran drills when I was learning how to fight. I think we should do
Training
that as a group.
montage.
Wow.
Yes.
We love a montage.
Okay, so question, as folks go to bed in their armor, is anybody missing any hit dice or just hit points? When you sleep in heavy or medium armor, you only regain a quarter of your hit dice. And at level 4, that would mean 1.
Oh,
but you still
nice.
regain your HP and spells as normal.
It looks as though I haven't used any hit dice.
That would make sense. You've been on a boat for several days without any glaring threats.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I've used any either.
that tracks. So the three of you return to your staterooms, lock the doors, climb into bed, and I will say you probably sleep in a little bit. It was a pretty big disturbance in the middle of the night. You maybe wake up sometime in the late morning, but you awaken with your HP restored to you and whatever spell slots you spent returned,
Nice.
and a new day has dawned. As you go about the morning, is there anyone you want to track down?
We must talk to Antoine.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You go down. You leave your room in the morning. The three of you meet up. You venture back down into the hold. The less injured of the crew have wandered off, and a few of the more severely injured ones are still being looked after. Amongst them is Antoine, who seems to be looking a lot better, actually, since last night and when you first saw him. But he's sitting there and he's reading a small book. And as you approach, he looks up and says, "Ah, my friends, how are you?"
I grab the book out of his hands.
Okay.
What is he reading?
It is appears to be a small work of fiction entitled Jum the Giant Man.
Hey, Glimki, you like books. Why don't you have this?
Yeah, thank you.
And Glimki, you look and you see this appears to be a small draft of a novel. It's called Jum the Giant Man, and it is written by Genjum Fruck.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow, an author.
And as you're flipping through, you see it is riddled with self-inserts.
Sick.
Wow. As many self-inserts as like a podcast where the bard tells the story, but then is in the story.
More.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's real egregious.
That's crazy.
I would say some podcasts have it like at an appropriate amount, but this book, too much.
Like, yeah, too much. Yeah. Because some podcasts are really tasteful about how they do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some.
Antoine, what the F, man?
I assume you refer to last night's incident.
To your friends that obviously knew where you were? Yes. So how did they know how to find you? And when are they coming back?
I do not know, and I do not know. I assume magic of some sort. What? I'm sorry. I can make up an answer if you want. But, I do not know what I don't know.
And what did you hear them say about the cube?
Nothing.
Oh my god, you sat on the boat for months with what? With your thumb up your ass? What were you doing? You weren't eavesdropping? You weren't gathering information? You know nothing?
As I told you, they did not speak while they were in my presence, but the one time when the small one issued an instruction to the creature, they really, like as I mentioned, they did not want anything from me. They did not interrogate me, they did not torture me. They merely kept me there until the creature attacked me and I was able to make my escape.
Did you know they could use portals? What kind of magic is that?
Good question.
I am not a arcane individual by nature. I sell baskets, but I did not know they could make portals, and I don't know what kind of magic that is.
They've never done that before in your presence?
Never. I was kept in a small room below deck. There was no need to portal.
And what of the lantern symbol?
What lantern symbol?
I show him the ring with the symbol.
Ah, that lantern symbol.
Do you know this symbol?
I can't say that I do. Sorry.
Do you know anybody named Svito Wale?
I do not. A friend of yours?
No, I assumed he was a friend of yours, but I'm seeing now that this well is pretty dry.
Clay, kick this guy's ass.
Whoa! Hold on.
This is an
What?
interrogation. He's not giving up intel. Kick his ass.
I don't think he knows anything.
Yeah.
It's true. I do not know anything.
Well, I guess we'll never know if we don't kick his ass, will we?
And then everyone's eyes narrow when we turn at the same time and do an insight check.
Yeah. Insight.
Go for it.
I got a 12.
Oh, gosh, I'm rolling pretty good today. What is
It's
my
like, you
insight?
know, when in like an anime when everyone's talking and then all the other characters' heads are like really
Mhm.
big and there's like shadows cast over them.
Yes. I got a dirty 20 on that.
I got a 19 because my insight's +4 somehow.
God dang.
He appears to be quite candid. His story has not changed since yesterday. He keeps looking over at the book that Glimki's holding, much like somebody eyeing a piece of pie that they really hope they are allowed to have at some point. But beyond that, there's no hint of deception.
Glimki's low roll has resulted in him squinting at him, going, I don't know if I can trust this guy. And he starts pocketing the book.
Nice.
Antoine sighs.
How's his chest wound looking? The claw mark.
You see, this guy, he's wearing a dramatic low plunging V. You can see most of his abdomen. The signs of infection, the pus seem to have cleared up. There's still a pretty nasty scar, but it seems to be improving rather than worsening.
Hmm.
Oh, speaking of, Glimki, I need you to do the exorcism thing on me right now.
I think you're okay.
Oh, we think I'm okay.
Well, I don't know.
In your
Let's give
medical
it... No,
opinion?
you're right. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Hop up here. Move over, Antoine. God.
He's like
Yeah,
caught on the floor.
Ass out of the way.
Jesus. Like, have some spatial awareness.
He walks off. he's had enough of this. He goes off in search of food, and Faunalyn hops up on his cot.
Glimki rubs his hands together, closes his eyes, and this green energy kind of glows out of his palms of his hands as he tries to do a cure disease or neutralize poison. So I use 5 points in my lay on hands.
Perfect. Can I get a perception check from, I'd say, either Glimki or Faunalyn?
13.
12.
You don't see anything, hear anything, feel anything, but the magic is transferred. It's possible there was nothing to heal. It's possible that it was in the earliest stages and had not advanced to a noticeable point. But either way, you feel confident that Faunalyn's going to be okay, at least with this particular ailment.
Glad Faunalyn feels confident with a 12 and a 13. Shannon doesn't feel that confident.
I think you're good.
Okay,
I did the
feel
thing.
fine.
I closed my eyes. The green glow happened, and you're still here. So I think we're a-okay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wiggling.
Thank you for that. I do feel more confident now. We're good. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last thing I need to know before I'm willing to put this entire dreadful saga behind us is what ended the fight. Why that beast didn't devour me in the water. Why it was called off.
They got what they wanted. They found the cube. That's it. Whatever the cube does or will do or whatever it represents, whether they need the symbol or maybe there's some, I don't know, maybe some crazy ability. Like, to be honest, it kind of feels like a big deal, but I don't really know anything about it. And we're supposed to be finding a princess. That's why we came here. And we don't really have the means to go track down a pirate ship and some mysterious glowing cube. I think we should just take it as a lucky moment where we didn't get murdered and we can go do the thing we came here to do.
You are so
Yeah.
anti-revenge, but I agree with the logic. I can't argue with that.
What are we going to do? Swim after them?
No, it's a good point. We came here for the princess. We have, right now, no reason to believe that those guys are going to come back. I mean, piracy is not really any of our business, right? So they stole something that we only knew existed by happenstance from a guy that we barely met. We only met because we threw a rager that he didn't go to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean,
all right.
if the opportunity arises, if we find ourselves in Sarposen and we bump into some guy who's looking for a cube, we can ask him then.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you guys want to do for the rest of the boat? Oh, shit! Amala! I need to go check on Amala.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we should take stock of who lived and died.
Yeah, true.
There are some crew members that died.
Like, was it a bunch of randoms that all had value
No
in
name.
their own right, but just not to me?
Yes.
Yeah, we had a full list of every NPC, of every person on this ship.
Yeah, I do actually. I want their names, all 36 of them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And backstory, please.
you go a searching. Faunalyn, you track down Amala. She is at the bar. She seems pretty rattled by what occurred last night, but is ultimately unharmed. She hid in her room during the commotion. Clay, you track down Kent, and all he stops to say to you is no refunds, and then carries on with his business. And Glimki, you ask around and check your copy of the manifest. It seems like 4 crew members, each important in their own way, each with lives and dreams and aspirations. Those lives and dreams and aspirations were cut short last night,
Oh,
but
wow.
not anybody that you were directly familiar with.
Hmm.
You find Jen Jim Fruck. He's in a full body cast, hobbling around on a pair of crutches.
Oh,
You saw him. You don't think he broke any bones. He was
Jen
bitten by a
Jim.
bunch of spiders, but he goes to salute and hits himself in the head with a crutch and knocks himself unconscious.
Oh,
And
God.
the 3 of you set about checking in with the various other passengers and crew members, learning what you can. And as you wander outside, you find that the oppressive clouds from the day before have drifted away, and the sun is shining down, back with the warmth that was deprived yesterday. The sea has calmed down, and while the damage to the ship is extensive, it's perhaps not as bad as initially feared. The crew busily spends the next few hours re-rigging the ship and repairing what damage they can. And by the mid to late afternoon, you begin to move again. There's a tense atmosphere aboard as several crew members are dedicated to looking out for your attackers, but they seem to have disappeared as quickly as they appeared last night. As the sun begins to glow red in the sky with supernova fast approaching, you hear the captain's voice echoing through the ship's announcement system.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vigilant welcomes you to Kobaris. The local time is evening. We know you have many options, so we thank you for choosing to sail with us, and we do apologize for yesterday's difficulties.
You make your way back up onto the deck of the ship, and on the horizon you can just start to make out a desert island. Burnt orange sand dunes, exacerbated by the bursting sun above, sweep across the landscape. Punctured with the occasional cacti or gnarled tree, the air around the island shimmers and shifts, distorting even as it draws ever closer. And you can feel the heat of Pharos emanating from those dunes. As you draw closer, the island continues to expand in your field of view, and you begin to make out the details of a single dock with no other ships attached to it. A handful of individuals in simple white robes with brass accents on the sleeves and collar hurry around, and you see a couple dozen camels grazing in a paddock nearby. There's a handful of large tents set up around a cooking fire, above which a large cauldron steams, and a few squat buildings made of a sandy stone that border this makeshift camp. Ptolemy Henkel sidles up next to you and says, "I know it would kill me, but I can't help but feel like floating in a pot like that would be very comfortable, don't you?"
Who does he sidle up to? You said just all of us?
Just the 3 of you. And as you turn to respond, he just wanders off.
Who is that guy? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Your
He's a client of mine.
business partner. Yeah, exactly.
talent.
Make sure he writes make sure he writes a really salacious and terrible song about Faunalyn Vaydark.
Oh, I don't know if I can get him for 2 songs. The contract's all about Deathsbane.
He wants to do the Faunalyn the Faunalyn thing is his own thing.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean,
Passion
then
project for
to
him.
his own volition, you know?
Yeah,
Inspiration strikes.
absolutely.
Wow, you're somebody's muse.
Well, I mean, the moniker I've adopted is somebody's muse, and I hope he drags her name through the mud just once I'm done using it. But I did get the sense that he's particularly a go-getter, so I'm not really worried about reputational hazards to
right.
me, you know?
How does that help, like, with the vanity angle that, like, a song may be written about you, but it's actually not your name?
Oh, shit.
Do you still, like, get something out of that?
That's such a good point, because now that you mention it, yeah, that's going to be hell for my ego.
Yeah.
Do I need to come out to him?
No, don't do that.
Okay, it would endanger my life and my entire family, but he'd get my name right in the song.
And then a lot of people would hear it.
Just think of it like you're spiting the real Faunalyn. Let the spite be its own reward.
Whoa. No, that's never been enough for me. But it is part of it. I'll let him write the bad song about Faunalyn Vaydark, and then when I'm a hero, I'll come back and be like, this is my real name, write it properly. 2 songs about me, at least, to start.
Just get a cut of the royalties for being his muse.
Oh, yeah, I'll let Glimki handle the business particulars, but absolutely, I should get a cut.
I got you, but we got to figure out what name's going on the contract. We can figure out the details later. I'll have his people contact us.
Sure.
We'll figure it out.
I'm a legal nightmare. That sounds good. Let's find a princess first, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the plan here? We're going to hit the town right away, or should we find a place to set up shop? Or we also got to figure out where to find some silks, right? Is that where we need to find some
true.
silks
Yes.
here, I think.
Wait, I have some names of people that we can look up.
I mean, of course, priority numero uno is princess leads. But remind me,
Mhm.
aside from having some information that they may be here, what else do we know? Have we stopped to think about that?
Absolutely nothing.
I think that's a really good point, because we could look for leads on the princess while we deal with this silk problem.
Yeah, but wait, but do we actually not have any other leads? That we just know that she got a boat that came to the Anchor's Chain? That's it?
Glimki, I'm gonna kick your ass for real.
No,
because
but are we bad at this?
You know what? I'm going to cast a cantrip, which you guys have never seen me cast, though I have cast it. And my hands start to kind of glow spectrally blue. And I bring a hand up to my temple, and my hand glows stronger until almost this light coalesces in my hand, and I kind of work it in my fingertips until it almost like Play-Doh, but it sort of forms into this long tendril. And I hand it to Glimki, and I say, Glimki, that is the physical manifestation of the memory of me being like, guys, we can't just go to the Anchor's Chain. That's crazy. It's a string of islands, and we have no idea which island she might be on. And then you went, no, it's fine. I think we just need to go. We just need to get there, and then we'll figure it out. And you're standing on the shores of Kubaris now, telling me that you think that's a bad plan? You're the one you're the rational one. You're the sensible one. What do you mean?
We're looking for Prince Malfirth. We're looking for signs.
Play, don't cover for
or
him.
leads.
Don't cover for him.
It kind of sounds like we had another lead. It's Prince Malford. It kind of sounds like we had another lead. That's why I asked.
Really, because it sounded like you were just processing for the first time.
No.
Getting on a boat. I swear to God.
Like, I don't want to argue, but it seemed like the alternative to getting on the boat without anything else was chasing down a family to murder them. Whether or not that was,
That would have been great for one thing. But then there was also talk of like talking to Xerxes' humiliation and finding more about the ship's manifest, interrogating the prince.
Nah.
Clay, what were you
Prince
going to say?
Malfirth.
Clay, okay.
Prince Malfirth.
Okay.
Solved it.
I think we're here now. Our problems will solve themselves, or new
exactly.
problems will show up, and we
Prince
just follow
Malfirth.
those. Yeah.
Prince Malford
This
and the
is so
Silks.
crazy.
Name the chapter of the book Prince Malford and the Silks.
Mm-hmm. What about the 2 weeks we have to spend at the Kobaris Learning Center?
Oh, God. Can you believe that people are gullible enough?
Honestly, no.
I was having a whole conversation with the captain about this. A round planet? Like, what are we
know,
talking
it's
about?
crazy.
A sphere planet? Guys, man.
Firstly, how would that even work? That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like a marble.
Have you guys ever
Where?
seen the edge? Yeah, just rolling through the sky? Stupid.
It's crazy.
No, the frisbee method is just so much more logical.
And no, I haven't seen the edge, but it's like, why would I want to? I don't want to fall off into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have you seen the edge?
No, but I just can't imagine it being round, because, like, how would you not fall off?
No, yeah, exactly. Wouldn't you just slide all the way? It
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
Crazy.
I actually have seen the edge, though, so I can definitively.
What?
It's pretty cool.
Really?
Whoa. Have you showed that
yeah,
to
I
the
mean-
round avers? Like proof?
I don't have proof with me, but it's so weird to me because they could just go and check for themselves.
But you've seen
It's
it.
not even that far. Yeah, it's amazing.
Mhm.
It's truly incredible. Like it's terrifying.
Wow.
It's the
That's really
wildest
cool.
feeling of vertigo. Yeah, and but the gravity's different there. I'm sure you've read about it, but the gravity's
Whoa.
different. So everything kind of angles, and then when you're walking, you almost feel tugged the way of the trees. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew that you were so learned?
Can you like pull that physical memory out of your brain of that?
Yeah, I already have. Here, I rifle through my sleeves
Whoa.
and I like
She can share this with us?
Do either of you know detect thoughts?
No.
No.
Then no.
Dang it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but no, I've got it. I've also got, I've got like, this is all the times that I caught Fallow sneaking out to see a boyfriend. This sleeve, this is kind of every time, Glimki, you've emotionally shown vulnerability to me. That's cool. And Clay,
Why are there
I
so
had every
many of
time you
them?
said we were friends. Yeah, as I'm like rifling through my sleeves, you see like tendrils kind of like spilling out, and yeah, I'm quite stuffed with them.
Wow. I was trying to save the edge for a kind of final chapter on my wayfaring. I think a couple of my siblings have seen the edge, but I mean, kind of at some point you gotta just take their word for it. They're spinning big yarns, so I'd still like to see it for myself.
Oh, we should go if we can. It's really cool.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
this little adventure will take us there.
Yeah, one of my most precious memories, actually. I don't keep that in a sleeve. That's far too important.
I mean, this is the farthest I've ever been from home, from like on sea and Erdene. So the edge has always just been like too far to even consider going. But now that we're here,
I mean, same here, Clay. Every step I take is the farthest I've ever been, so
yeah.
it's kind of neat.
Well, we're like adventurers now. We're like leaves in the wind, Let's just see where the
Mhm.
tides of adventure blow us.
Should we explore this island that we're on?
The winds of adventure. I mixed metaphors. Shit.
Fallen draws out a memory and then crumples it in her hand.
Fucking shit.
Literally, she pulls it out, drops it to the floor, and grinds it under her boot.
Sadly, it doesn't erase it from your mind. The Vigilant is brought into the port, the landing area, and ropes are cast out, and this large ramp is lowered, and folks begin to debark. And as you gather up your belongings into your various bags and boxes and pieces of luggage, you wander down this ramp, and you see a group of individuals clad in white robes with these brass accent marks. It's almost like little chunks of square that form a necklace around the collar, and then same with the edge of the sleeves. They almost look like bracelets, these little brass squares wrapped around these edges of the garment. A group of 4 individuals stand on the dock, and one of them steps forward. She's this tall, waifish woman. She's got pale white skin and these big blue eyes and blonde hair in a like a jellyfish cut of sorts, just different layers winding down around her shoulders. And she says, "Welcome to Cabarrus and the Jar Arwith Learning Center. I was expecting you near a day ago. I hope your journey was not complicated." And Kent Tithicon steps forward and says, "Deborah, good to see you. Hi. Some problems, but nothing throwing a few corpses into the ocean couldn't fix. We are ultimately here, and I've brought a wonderful group of individuals who are ready to learn at the feet of Jar Arith and have their minds expanded from flat little nonsensical discs into big round orbs, big orb brains." And she puts up her hand and says, "Thank you, Kent. That's very good." And she turns to look at the rest of you, these passengers that have stepped off the boat, and she says, "Welcome, friends. You are safe here. You may put behind you the troubles and tribulations of your journey and prepare to sup at the teat of Jar Arith."
A metaphorical teat, of course. He will not be breastfeeding you at this time. He lacks the necessary biology, and I can only assume the desire.
So at this time, like there's potentially a time later when he may breastfeed us.
The world is full of wonders, and after we have proven to all that the world is round, perhaps we shall also feast upon Jarroth's teeth. Let us not dwell upon it. My name is Deborah. It is wonderful to meet you all.
Faunalyn extracts a memory, tries it beneath her breath.
Glimki definitely leans over to these two and is like, "This is a cult, right?"
Yeah, definitely. The teat stuff, it's a red flag.
Yeah, why does she keep
Weird.
talking about the teat?
No, this is how cults get you. They groom you, they desensitize you. He's going to say teats first, and then it's going to be something even weirder next.
Ugh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes. It's going to
well,
be like feast upon the taint or something.
do we have to stay here? Like, what part of
We-
this are we obligated to actually do?
We didn't sign a
I
contract.
think we were planning on
So
leaving.
you are obligated to spend 2 weeks here as per the contract you signed. And furthermore, the artist is supposed to complete a portrait of Jar Arath in exchange for the discount upon passage to the island, as well as, I believe, they get discounted attendance fees.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, it's right here in writing.
Do we get free time?
Do I get to meet Jar?
Of course, friends. There will be morning and evening sessions led by Jar Arath, as well as breakout groups throughout the day for us to discuss and learn from each other and share what revelations we have been receiving from Jar Arath's wellspring of knowledge. And the rest of your time is yours. There is the hot springs to enjoy. There is wonderful dining.
Wow.
And of course, there's the disc golf course. In fact, there is going to be a welcome tournament tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Indeed.
You've been going on for the past 5 days about a round earth and you play disc golf?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you just play regular golf? It's an orb, like what you've been preaching about.
You see, it's a metaphor.
It just doesn't make sense. Thematically, it doesn't make sense.
No, it's a
Why would you be preaching about a round globe and then play with disc golf?
well, you see, it's a metaphor of sorts because a disc, when you throw it, falls to the ground. And thus, if the world
The
was a
ball
disc,
falls to the ground.
I don't understand. And, like, her nose starts to bleed.
Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Sorry. You know what? I have to be open-minded.
You should be open-minded, otherwise you might find yourself in the Reformation chamber, and nobody wants that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read about that in the paper. Just, yeah, cool. Just, forgot some stuff on the boat. So, BRB.
Of course.
And Glimki's gonna start walking back towards the boat. Captain! Captain!
You turn around and walk right into the captain, who's standing like 3 feet behind you. Aye. What can I do for you, business partner?
How long until we go to Sarposen?
Well, I'm going to have to travel into the interior of the island to meet with Jar Arath to negotiate some supplies. The ship managed to make it here, but I don't trust it to make another journey across the open ocean. And
So what, you're grounded for what? 2 weeks?
oh, I hope not that long. But and she looks over at Deborah and says, "I assume you'll be making the journey tomorrow, then." Yes, we shall make the interior journey tomorrow, and then the festivities shall begin. And she turns back to you and says, I will be making the journey tomorrow, and then I will have to negotiate some supplies from Jar Arath and then make the journey back either tomorrow or the day after. I imagine it'll be at least a few days, maybe a week before we're ready to depart.
Okay, Glimki turns back to the group. Alright, let's do this. Let's get her find our rooms. I don't know how this works.
What? Oh, I guess we'll. Okay. Well,
we
we're
can sneak
contracted
off
to
or
stay here.
something, but like, let's just. I don't know
Stay here
what
for
else is
1
on
week.
this island,
1 week instead of 2 weeks.
and then we can get back on this boat.
Mhm.
Okay, but we'll get back on the boat. Okay, we'll gather intel here, and then we'll. Clay, where are these silks supposed to be?
Avox.
Okay.
And your friend, what's his face? Sir Asphalocrastics.
Yes, my best friend. Carry on.
Yeah, his tailor recommended a vendor, Kurtuk Fraison,
And they were on what island?
on Avox.
Avox.
Well done, Clay. Good job. Oh, speaking of.
Okay.
Hey, Asphalt! Oh, Lord Asphalt!
A porthole on the side of the ship opens up, and he sticks his head out and says, did I hear the sound of an angel calling my name? No, probably not. I'm kind of a atheist, but I heard Faunalyn Vaydark, and that's just as good.
Yeah! Did you tell me, Lord Asphalt, did the sleeves come off that shirt?
I came here to make friends and tear the sleeves off my shirts, and I'm all out of sleeves. And then Ruckus Perez sticks his head out and says, yeah, we're friends now.
Cool tearaway shirt. Okay, sorry, I'm done terrorizing Cilantro now.
Oh, how did they become friends over the class differences?
Well, you see, we wanted friends, and we made them.
Oh, that's
But now
nice.
we have to say goodbye, because I'm here to learn how the world is flat, or round, or something. I'm a little confused. I'll be right out. Perez! And the portal slams shut, and Ruckus Perez way too quickly appears on the ramp and runs down and joins you alongside his brother Tucker.
What a guy.
Tucker now has the head of a decapitated monster tied to his hip, and it is starting to rot.
Oh,
I'm confused. I'm looking at the map of the anchor exchange. Were we trying to get to the Shade Tree Shores or something?
Well, that was your other option, your other entryway to the anchor chain. There was
Right.
another ship going to
Okay.
Shade Tree Shores.
Okay, I see. And where is our lead supposed to be? Do we know?
You have none.
Dude, you were like, we're gonna get there and we're gonna figure it out.
I'm just looking at this map, and Kobaros is tiny as fuck.
it's a little cult island. That's all it is. Avox is so far away. What the heck? We should have taken the ship to Shade Tree Shores.
Not as far as you might think. The island chain itself isn't too big.
Mengen is the artist one, though, right? Mengen is the artist island?
That is, yeah, that's the one to the
Wait,
northeast.
let's go there next, then.
God. Let's see what this cult gets up to for at least a night. And then maybe if things go sideways, we can, I don't know, come back to the ship.
This can't be the only ship that comes through here, right? Maybe we can just get on a different ship.
We all look down the empty dock.
Let's talk to the locals.
Are there locals?
Or is it just all cult?
Yeah, there were like people around fire and stuff.
Yeah, you look over, there's another handful of people wearing the same white robes.
Oh,
Yes, the
frick.
locals.
No, why? Shit. I turn back to the captain. Seriously, man to woman here. What the hell would it take to back this ship out of the bay right now?
Oh, some fresh lumber, replacement supplies, rope, sails. Ideally a few new crew members, but we can probably restock on those in Sarposin.
No, you got 3 new crew members right here, and I gesture to me and those 2.
No disrespect, but that one looks a little hoity-toity to be working a ship.
No, what are you talking about? She is from a family of...
Yeah, the spots look like she's rich.
Oh.
Trey's cool.
Yeah.
And I bet we could get Perez to come.
He is talking to a person in white robes, and they're doing a complicated handshake.
Oh, shit.
God dang it, ass full of crass sticks would come, I bet.
But I believe the Earl As full of crest sticks is, well, he's not staying here anyway. He's booked passage back to Sarposin.
So, okay, wait, so he's just hanging out on the ship for the next 5 days?
I did.
I did. And who do we need to talk to get you your supplies?
Jar Arith, the leader of the Round Zavers.
All right, well, let's go fucking find him.
What's the return trip situation like for Amala to get back to Erdenine? Like, are they coming to pick us back up after they go to Sarposin?
Well,
Oh, shit.
we are not commissioned to make another trip back out here, but it's my understanding that other ships will come, maybe returning to Erdenine, maybe returning
This is a
to
one-way trip.
other islands, and more or less a one-way trip, yes. I'm sure
We booked
supplies
a
come in at
one-way.
some point as the desert island, so
I'm grabbing Clay and Faunalyn by their shirts. We have to get off this rock. Whatever we do for the next 24 hours, we convince Jarara to load this ship up with supplies and get us off this thing.
Okay.
From here on out, the world is round. Okay? Got it? We've learned everything there is to know.
What if I have him sit for a portrait
Mm-hmm.
and you guys scrounge up a ship?
I love it.
Oh, we could like raid his office for supplies and money and stuff. We could like sign. I'm so good at forging things. I could forge any order for anything. Seriously.
You don't need to
Okay.
forge it. Just steal back the contracts that we signed, so they
I
don't.
also think we could just convince him maybe somehow.
Mm.
It's just a vibes thing.
Captain, how do you feel about renaming your ship?
Well, there was a time when I would have said, no way, Jose. But nothing really matters these days to me, so it would probably be fine.
All right, Captain, hand in the circle here. Everyone, we're committed to convincing, with the use of vanity, a cult leader to give us supplies if we name him a ship that will explore the round world for him.
Mm-hmm.
On 3?
Yeah, so that exact thing on 3. Ready?
Okay, on 3.
We're committed to.
Committed
Sorry,
to
count us
using
in.
vanity. 3, 2,
That's
1.
necessary.
We're committed to manipulating a cult leader with the
for
use of vanity and renaming a
use of
ship in
vanity
his behalf to
renaming
explore the
ship on
round
his
world for
behalf
him.
to explore the round world for him.
Force as necessary.
All right. Perfect.
Good job, everybody.
Let's go
So,
find.
what are we doing?
Let's go find.
And break.
Let's go find Jar Arith and convince him to give us supplies hastily, because he has the opportunity to have a ship named after him that will explore the round world. I feel like that would convince me.
And as you say that, the sun explodes.
No, it's okay. It does that.
No!
You are brought to this central fire. There are large tents that are meant for sharing, and the 3 of you climb into one, and there's some cots set up with fresh linens and pillows. There is a big cooking pot, and a stew with a meat that you can't quite identify is served to you. It tastes all right. There's not much merrymaking, not much in the way of music. Most folks seem pretty tired, and before long you go to bed. You rest through the night, and in the morning, you are woken by the woman, Deborah, and she says, "Good morning, friends. We will be departing right away. Please choose out a camel, and we shall set off for the interior of the island and the learning center proper."
Okay.
I know we don't want to spend time here, but this place is hilarious.
I mean, as a player, yeah, it sounds dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I want to explore this and get into the nitty gritty of whatever called bullshit this is. But then Glimki is like, what the hell are we doing?
Do we have to roll any sort of check to not get pulled in, to get sucked into the...
Yeah, make a religion
Cool.
check.
Yeah, the longer we stay here, the more this starts to make sense.
Yeah. The harder the DC is.
No, but see what happens is that the mass is so big that it has its own gravity. Wait a minute.
What?
The 3 of you walk out and bring your bags, and you pick out these camels. They've got little cloths draped over their humps that seem to be that familiar depiction of Zav as a round planet. And your bags are loaded up into a wagon pulled by one particularly large camel, and you set off into the desert. It is a large group of you. There is the 3 of you, as well as the Perez brothers, Zoralo Depthsbane, Ptolemy Henkel, who, while he initially had planned on traveling onwards to Sarposin, figures if he's going to be here for a few days, he may as well make some money. Amala Berthold, of course, as well as a young, appears to be teenage woman who you really haven't had a chance to speak with, but you've seen her at various events. She was at dinner most nights and attended the party, of course. And the rest of the crew stays behind with the ship, as well as the passengers continuing on to Sarposin. And yeah, you are escorted by Deborah and some of the other robed individuals who are traveling with her, and you set off through the desert. It is hot. It does not take long for you to lose sight of the coast. There's these big sweeping sand dunes that pile up around you, and she carefully guides you through a path. At one point, you can't help but notice what appear to be the tracks of some large creature. And she says, "Now, it's very important that you do not venture off into the surrounding desert. There are all manner of terrible beasts out here, and you will surely be devoured. So we kindly ask that when it is time for you to leave, you only leave under the escort of one of our staff, and that you stick around the learning center proper. The beast will not harm you as long as you stay at the learning center, but we cannot promise your safety if you venture off into the desert.
What shape is the footprint?
It appears to be large and clawed. Would you like to make a nature check for me?
Yes. Does it look like an owlbear footprint
Ooh,
of any sort?
fun question.
11.
With an 11, I would say it doesn't appear to be an owlbear. It appears to have like 4 toes of sorts, kind of 3 at the front and one that hangs off to the side, which is also, I would say, similar, but maybe not identical to a toad creature you recently saw. I would say with an 11, you are fairly confident it is not an owlbear track, but you cannot be sure it is not a toad creature track.
Is it about the same size as the toad creature was? Like huge?
It's big. Hard to say. You didn't get too close to it. It might be a bit smaller, but you're not 100% sure.
Okay. Can I ask the guide what kind of creatures live on the island?
Terrible ones, guided by ignorance and folly. Best not to think of them, and best just to focus your attentions on the learning center.
Oh, well, what makes the learning center safe from attack from these creatures?
Undoubtedly our leader, Zhao. He protects us and feasts upon us knowledge.
What an interesting choice of words.
How does he protect you, though?
Have you ever been in a place that is surrounded by danger, and one particularly brilliant man, with the brilliance of his brilliance, is able to cast away the darkness and ignorance and dangers of the world? Sort of like that.
No.
All will be made clear in time, friends. All will be made clear in time.
These people are crazy.
Yeah.
They've got such style. Like, I have been in a place where I was surrounded with danger all around, you know?
Yeah, I'm really glad they continued because it was funny that there was a long pause. Have you ever been in a place? Like, yes, I have.
I have actually, yeah.
It's like this is the
All the
beginning of
time.
the cult manipulation. Just like begin to get you to agree with things. Have you ever been in a place? Yes.
No,
It's exactly like that.
You continue along, and it takes you about half the day. The sun, of course, is not moving in the sky above you. It is directly above you at all times. It is always hot. It is always uncomfortable. And you feel like it's important to remember details like that in the days ahead. As you travel through the desert, and a little past midday, you round a dune, and you see sprawled out before you this large encampment. There is this large domed building at the center of it all. It's made of this white sort of sandstone that all the other buildings appear to be made of as well. And they are each in their own way small domes. There are maybe a couple dozen buildings in total. As I said, this large central one with a glorious entrance, this large brass door, as well as you look around and you see that there's an amphitheater that is a dome that is cut in half and slightly recessed into the ground. You see an individual is standing on a stage and talking to about a dozen people who are listening with rapt attention. And you see all adults. Does not appear to be any children here. You look to one side and you see 9 little nets attached to poles, and you see a couple of individuals throwing discs at these nets. And you look up onto a bluff and you see little bits of steam rising. And at first you think it's just desert, mirage, sun shimmers. And then you realize, it is a hot spring. And it looks very nice.
Heyo.
You are escorted to the entrance of the large building at the center of it all, and you are dismounted, you are helped off the camels, your bags are taken by the various individuals in white robes, and the door swings open, and you see a massive individual. They appear to be 8, maybe 8.5 feet tall, female presenting, And if you recall, you fought a certain man by the name of Cormac Bruckton on the western coastal road, a soldier that you did not learn much about, but he was of a similar dimension, and you figured he was potentially a half ogre, and you get the sense that this individual is as well, and she's got short cropped hair and a bit of a bowl cut, and she pulls open these massive bronze doors and says, "Welcome, friends, to the Jarvis Learning Center. You here to get your minds filled with knowledge?"
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
I mean, they're already pretty full
Oh,
because you're looking at 3 stout supporters of the Round World Initiative. That's what we call it.
Mm-hmm. The
Where
RWI,
we're from.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
RAI, as they call it.
this large woman cracks her knuckles and looks over at Deborah, and Faunalyn, with your passive perception, you see her give a barely perceptible shake of the head, and the large woman relaxes and says, "Well, I'm sure we'll scoop out all that knowledge and fill it up with real learning in no time at all. Come on in. It's time to meet the man in charge."
Oh,
Uh-huh.
thank goodness. We've been dying to meet.
Yeah, the man himself.
Glimki's doing the most paper thin veiled. There is no attempt at covering this up.
That seem menacing to either of you? I'm like,
Oh, when he
getting a
said
little
scoop out
nervous.
the knowledge, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting choice
Yeah.
of words. First teeth, now scooping out knowledge. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of feasting, suckling, scooping.
Giving brain melt a little bit.
Yeah.
These guys are going to eat us.
Well, we've had a good run.
The 10 or so of you step off or step into this entry hall, and you're led down a long dark tunnel, and there's little alcoves like carved into the tunnel that are illuminated. You can't see what the light source is, but in each of them there is a little depiction of a very tan elven man with dazzling white teeth, and he is in one of them. He is speaking in front of a crowd of people who have their jaws hanging open and look very dumb, almost a caricature. In another, he is holding a globe in his hand and holding it up to the light, and just various depictions of who you assume to be Jar Arith and his many academic endeavors. You continue down the hall, and it opens up into this large circular chamber that has just rows upon rows of benches that wrap around it and lead down into a depression, a stage at the center of it all. And you look up, and there's this large domed ceiling above you. And the world of Zav is distorted and projected up onto the ceiling in a way that tries to make it fit within this dome shape, but you've seen a lot of maps, and it looks wrong to you. It looks fundamentally wrong to you.
It's like when they orient like Russia and Asia on the other side.
Yeah.
And America on the other. We're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's your next D&D podcast. I know, you're probably thinking, another D&D podcast? Well, welcome to You've Got to Be Critting Me, a chaotic and heartfelt Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. Follow 4 unlikely adventurers: Sephi, a Goliath fighter seeking her stolen family; Malchus, a tiefling bard running from a scandalous past; Thormir, a dwarven druid chasing vengeance for his ruined homeland; and Todd, a half-elf archaeologist guided by a mysterious rat companion. Set in Kyranda, a land of breathtaking magic and dangerous secrets, these strangers find themselves caught in the path of an ancient dark force threatening to reshape the world. As nations divided by history face a new conqueror, can this oddball party tip the scales toward salvation or destruction? Join us for unforgettable characters, wild choices, and moments that will leave you shouting, "You've got to be critting me!"
Amala sits down beside you. Faunalyn says, "Oh, this is so exciting. I wonder if we've been wrong this whole time. I think I'm ready to have my mind changed. How about you?"
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hundo P. Amala, darling.
Hundo P.
Wonderful. And as she says that, there's a sudden poof of smoke at the center of this room, and lights appear
illuminating around this center platform, and you can just barely make out a humanoid shape standing in the smoke. Only can see a silhouette.
It's Joel Osteen. Okay, sorry. Just kidding. Just kidding. Sorry, cut that.
Fringe, I'm honored to have you at my learning center today. For too long you have been cast in the shadow of ignorance, hungry for the supple milk of knowledge. And I tell you today, I have spent a lifetime learning and studying the world that we call Zav, and we have been taught many a thing about this planet. That it is flat, that it is mostly that, actually. And I'm here to tell you today that it is, in fact, a round planet.
And these hands sweep out dramatically, and the smoke clears, and you see an individual in a bright purple suit with brass buttons. There are sequins on the suit. It is shining like a disco ball in this dark space.
God.
And you see this individual with a tan skin. If you look closely, you see the tan kind of gets cut off at the wrists. There's some paler skin there. And this long, slicked back blonde hair with dark roots, and this just very obviously manufactured smile as this elven man steps forward and says, "Welcome, friends, to the Jar Arth Learning Center. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you."
Clay starts applauding.
Yeah, several other people join in. Amala, Ruckus.
Yeah, we all do. Definitely,
Yep, we all
definitely
clap.
half-heartedly. Wow.
Now, friends, who here has heard some crazy rumors about this world and its composition?
And there's like hesitation. It's got first day of class energy. And slowly Amala raises her hand and she says,
Well, I heard that it is, flat, of course. But beyond that, it has a central ocean because it's flat, so it pulls all the water to the center of the world.
and Jareth raises a finger and a common misconception. You see,
How can the ocean be at the center of the world if the world is round?
and Amala says,
That's a good point, I suppose. If the water was at the center of the world, ma'am, and might I say, you look just like my sister. Now, if the world was round, which it is, the water, if it was gathered at the center, would be inside the world. And now, I know you folks came from afar. You sailed on a boat to get here. Were you sailing through the center of the world? Were there caves above you, obscuring the night sky? And Amala's like, no, I suppose there was. Exactly! Exactly! The world is round and you sailed upon the ocean right here to the Jar Arth Learning Center. Ma'am, you are going to love it here. We are going to cast the dark shadows out of your mind and fill with the brilliant, bright light of knowledge. Who else has heard a rumor about this world? How about you? And he points at Glimki.
Look, I'm all in on this round world stuff. You don't need to tell me, pal.
Now tell me this then. If you are a learned man, what are the things you know? How do you reject the dark whisperings of the ignorant?
Well, it just makes sense. Similar to your cave theory, but something else.
No, but Glimki, how does it make sense? Go on, tell the man our theories.
Oh, right.
Interesting that you're calling it theories, when in fact it is scientific proof.
Right, sorry. We're trying to adapt language. We just use different terminology at the RWI. Because we don't have the proof that you have. That's why we're here, to learn about proof. See, we function on hypothesis. And our hypothesis is the world is round because space is around us and under us and above us. So it just makes sense. You know?
Give me a persuasion roll.
You know what I'm trying to say?
give me a persuasion roll.
I got a 22.
Wow.
Very good. I can tell you are a learned man. You might be ready for our level 2 classes.
Oh, no. Trust me, I'm just here to be among all the learned folks. You know? Again, hypothesis only over here. We want to see your facts.
The teenager who's been traveling aboard the Vigilant puts a hand up and says,
Now, excuse me, but how do you reconcile the shape of the world with the Divine Octad and their creation?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Now, you see, we don't believe that there's much differentiation here between the teachings of the High Church of the Octad and what we know to be solid scientific fact. I am a man of science, but that doesn't mean I'm not a man of faith. I believe that just because the church preaches that the world is flat, that doesn't mean that they're wrong about other things. They're just wrong about this one thing. And I think the worlds of religion and science can coincide in happy harmony.
If I may ask a question, sir.
Yes, and might I add, you look just like my sister.
Okay, what about people who claim to have seen the edge?
Aha. Now, sadly, those folks are sadly mistaken. I'd like to believe, and from my travels, I can tell you, there is no edge. Whatever they've taught you in school, there is no edge. There cannot be an edge. He pulls out a marble. Does this marble have an edge, ma'am?
No, it doesn't.
Precisely.
So what about the people in real life who say that they have seen an edge? What do you think of those people?
Well, if I may. And he takes out a slightly larger marble and takes a piece of gum and chews it up and sticks it onto the marble. Now, you see here, this is still a round object, right? But there's this little edge here, this little mountain of gum that I've created with my mouth. I have masticated it into something supple and placed it upon this here representation of our round world. And this gum here, while soft because it is in fact gum and not made of rock or granite or other substances that this world is made up of, it is an edge of sorts. If I were to shrink down small enough to traverse this makeshift diorama world, and I climbed this gum mountain, it would have an edge that I could look down upon. You see.
What about the... You know what? Okay, yep. So, Clay... This is Clay Campbell, esteemed artist.
Clay Campbell, you look nothing like my sister.
But your sister simultaneously looks like a gnome and an elf.
Different sisters. Come on. Can't operate on this guy because it's my son. Come on, guys.
Sisters can be women too. Okay. Okay, this is amazing. But my friend Clay Campbell is commissioned to draw a portrait of you that is going to make all the other portraits look like ass. So let's go into a private room and do that ASAP. Because I just feel like I'm sitting out here and my mind is already beginning to melt, you know? And I don't know if we're ready for mind melting yet. Something out here is just mind numbing. I don't know. Shall we?
I'm not quite done with my sermon, ma'am, but once I'm done, I mean my lecture, ma'am, but once I am, Clay Campbell, I've heard nothing about you, but I am very interested to learn more about this so-called portrait that you are to paint of me. Now, where was I? And this goes on for about another 45 minutes of questions and answers, mostly just spouting bullshit, but with great conviction. And by the end, Amala leans over and says, I don't know about you, but I'm almost convinced to give up all my worldly belongings and live here the rest of my life.
From that?
It was very interesting, servant.
He spoke about the teat of knowledge 7 times in the past 40 minutes.
Scintillating, wasn't it?
Well, man, I was hoping for more, I don't know,
proof.
Evidence. It felt a lot like a lot of metaphor.
Sounds like you're not ready for the level 4 classes, which I just found out I'm ready for. They're a little more expensive, but I think I'm ready.
You have to pay for more once you're here?
Oh, yes, I paid for your classes as well. So you'll be good for the next 2 weeks.
What?
But I signed you up for the level 1 classes. I figured you weren't ready for something more advanced.
Oh my god, when's the free time again?
Now, my friends, I'm sure you're hungry for some free time, but unfortunately for you, it's no time for free time. It's time for a visual metaphor in the form of a disc golf tournament. So if you will all follow my assistant Deborah outside, you will be provided with your league official disc, and the tournament shall begin. Yes, Mr. Treefellow, as it were.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes, thank you, sir. Just quick question. Why disc golf and not just regular ball golf? Wouldn't that just be more fitting to the whole motif of round shapes?
That would be blasphemous, sir, because a disc falls out of the air, much like our world would fall if it were flat, you see. But a ball should fly forever around the sun, you see.
Okay.
You understand, yes?
Yeah, I can kind of get on board with that.
There we go. That's clever boy, asking a lot of questions.
Does Zav go around the sun?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. Yes, it does. What you think of all your life, you're in school, you're learning things, probably at a public school for free. Knowledge should never be free, might I add. But what you have been taught is the sun exploding is merely it moving out of sight. And then it turns to night. And then the world keeps turning, and then the next day the sun appears again. Hallelujah!
But we watch it blow up.
Mm.
It's supernovas right in front of us.
That's just merely the sun reaching the edge of the horizon. And
But it's an explosion happened
But it's sometimes it's not the middle.
right there.
now, how much do you know about something called atmosphere? It's the air around us that we breathe in and out of our lungs. You know?
Okay.
And sometimes that atmosphere creates a fear in our minds that the sun's going to explode. But it's not real. It's merely a trick of the mind, a distortion of the air, a whisper of a ghost with a penchant for malicious humor. And the sun turns, and it turns, and it keeps on turning, and we spin around the world, and we spin around the earth, and we keep on spinning every day of our lives. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah. I'm quite overcome. Does anybody else need a break? I'm like sweltering with the burden of this beautiful knowledge. Like I feel like I've feasted at the teat and I'm just full. You know what I mean? I need a break. I need to digest. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I can take a break. Yeah.
I'm ready to take it out on some disco.
I mean, you know
Yes.
what? Let's just get onto the course and we can just talk about what we should do. Give me that disc. And to quote my favorite golf player in world canonically, Tiger Woods. He's from Dwells. The name suits it. Claiming him.
He's a Treefellow, distant ancestor, distant kin.
Yeah. Where's the first tee? And what's the course record?
Well, come on out, friends, and we'll show you what's what. And you are brought out to this disc golf course. There's a long table set up, and there are stacks of discs, each of them presenting the standard image of Zav that you know and love, the map of Zav, this flat earth. But there's a red circle with a line through it, drawn across it. And each of them has a small number on it. So you grab a disc of your own, and the tournament begins. Arth steps forward and says, now, we will be playing with just 3 holes, because I'm sure with all the delays, you are very tired, and I have a portrait to sit through now, so we're going to keep it short. But we're going to do 3 holes, and to the winner, their choice of prize. Would you like to know the prize?
Yes.
Sure.
What are the prize options?
Well, over here, and he gestures to a smaller table, and you see 3 objects upon it. There is a crumpled up cloak, there is a tankard, a cup of sorts with a handle, and there is a small orb with the depiction of Zav mapped out upon it. Each of these objects here represents one of our core values here at the Jarth Learning Center. This tankard here is a tankard of sobriety. We believe the mind should be sharp so that we can further ingest knowledge. Why ingest alcohol when we can ingest wisdom? If you pour a drop of liquor in there, a dirty little spirit, it'll be as if you were drinking water or mother's milk.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Over here, we have an orb of direction. It'll always point north, and you can hold that up and you'll know just how to go.
Wow. Gotcha. Points north. Where would north be if you're on an orb? Dumbass.
Now, what do you know about magnets?
What? What does this have to do with magnets? We're talking about north,
Don't
which is easy
not.
because
Glimki,
if you
no.
look at a
No.
flat, it's clearly that way.
Please, no. Please, no more questions.
When you ask about north, you make a mag out of net and me. North is up, but like that way, you know? And then eventually north becomes south if you go far enough.
See? Am I the only one?
I have seen the world, sir, in all its splendor, and I can tell you, north is up.
This guy, man. All right, give me the disc.
This here is a cloak of many fashions because we believe it's important to look your best when you are spreading the good word of, well, me. You wear this cloak, you can look like anything you want it to be. And he puts on the cloak, and suddenly a picture of his face appears on the back of it. And then a moment later, it shifts and becomes a depiction of the round Zav kind of wrapped around him. And then he triggers it one more time and says, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." He says, "Just kidding. I'm not Irish. Let us begin." And you are brought out to the first hole. And some people sit out, but not the three of you and not two other people, because I've got two D20s in front of me. We'll say the Perez brothers are standing on each other's shoulders, working together. And the young teenager is looking at one of these discs distastefully and decides to take part in the disc golf. You are brought out to the first hole, and I need everybody to make a dexterity check as you attempt to throw this disc into the net. It's about 70 meters away.
God damn it, I only got a 9.
Ooh.
I also got a 9.
Got an 11.
We're good at this.
Yeah.
It's my first time playing disc golf.
The discs sail through the air, and Glimki, yours comes up just a little bit short. Faunalyn, yours sails over it and lands just a few meters past. Clay, ding! It rattles off the post and lands in the net.
Damn!
Ruckus and Tucker, they are using 4 hands to try and throw this, and the disc goes and just lands like 3 feet in front of them.
Oh.
And this teenager grabs the disc and just casually chucks it, and it sails in this perfect arc. We'll say she like throws it, sideways, cool style, and it goes sailing right into the net. And I will have Glimki and Faunalyn make a second attempt from closer, so it'll be a lower DC.
Cool. That's a 22 for me.
Got a 15.
Amazing. The Perez brothers continue to struggle, and that's crazy. I'm rolling some zany numbers. It takes them 5 times to get it in. And after the first hole, the score is Perez's 5, Faunalyn 2, Glimki 2, Clay 1, and Teenager 1. You are brought to the second hole, and there is a giant windmill, as it were, and it's spinning with these big blades through the air, and it seems like it's going to be a little bit harder. So can I get everybody to make another dexterity throw, please?
Dang right. Oh, nice. 18.
Wow, that's good.
6.
I rolled a 19.
Glimki, you chuck it, kind of getting the weight of this thing, and it goes sailing right between the blades of this windmill, lands directly in it, and you nailed it.
Woo!
Clay, you chuck it with all your might, and it actually hits the windmill straight on. And then you realize there's a small little slat, and your disc goes into it, and it slides out the back of the windmill and lands right in the net. Faunalyn, you chuck yours, and it hits about 4 inches below that slat and just tumbles to the ground directly in front of the windmill. The Perez brothers start smacking each other with the frisbee. They're done. They're out of the game. And the teenager throws it, and it catches one of the blades and topples to the ground. So could I get another toss from Faunalyn and this teenager, as it were?
Oh my god, I'm having the worst luck of my life. 8.
Oh, nar. You try and get around this windmill, and you throw it, and a blade just smacks it down into the ground. You manage to get a little ways out. It's going to be a little bit of an easier DC from where you are, but it's not looking good. Can I get one more throw?
Oh, that's a 6.
Oh, no.
The Perez brothers are rumbling like the pill bugs in A Bug's Life, just tumbling over each other, trying to make each other eat the disc, and they just knock you over, and the disc goes tumbling out of your hand, and Jarrod says, "Now that counts as a regulation throw, I'm afraid."
Dear God! I would fight it, but very little of my self-esteem is tied up in this competition.
Could you make one more attempt, please?
Oh, that's a 19.
There we go. You pick yourself up off the ground, and with your 4th toss, manage to get it into the net. The Perezes are formally disqualified, and the 4 of you travel to the 3rd and final hole. And wouldn't you know it, it's a big mechanical Jar Arif, who's got a hand, and he's waving it in front of his mouth, and you see that the net is in the mouth, and you have to get it past his wiggling finger.
God.
Could I get everybody to make one last dexterity check, please?
This guy. Oh, nat 20.
Oh,
Let's go.
So close. It was on the 20 and then it rolled to 14. For a total of 14.
I got 13.
Clay and Faunalyn, your discs go flying out and both get smacked down by the finger. Glimki, you manage to perfectly time it right into Jar's open mouth. Swish.
Fuck yeah.
Clay and Faunalyn, it is a closer toss, but you have to make one more.
That's an 8.
I got a 9.
It's all falling apart in the final minutes.
No.
It's no good, this finger. It's beating the shit out of your discs. You can't get past it. Give me another one. Keep trying. Don't give up.
That's a 9.
That's a 4.
Can I surrender? Is it possible to surrender?
We look very poorly upon quitters. Those Perez brothers are low on my appreciation list at this time, but you are welcome to walk away if you want.
Okay, I just rolled 3 in a row. That was a 9, a 15, and a natural 20.
Perfect.
I just start swinging.
I just rolled another 4. Clay pulls out her mace and is like, Faunalyn, throw it again, and I'm gonna smash the mechanical jaw.
Amazing. Make one more attempt.
That's a 19.
You smash the finger and Zhao says, now that's not very kind. We will have to put an extra charge on your room, I believe 15 gold piece repair fee, but in goes the disc and that's our game. Now let me tally up our scores.
I definitely Glimki like celebrated that last bucket like hard, but then caught himself and I was like, fucking what? No. This is a cult. I'm not having fun.
Now, in dead last, the Perez brothers eliminated for their ruckusry. In 4th place, the lady Faunalyn Vaydark. Better luck next time. Tied for 2nd place with 6 shots apiece, Clay Campbell and that teenager.
Crazy that they don't have a name.
I cannot believe Clay beat me. They exploded the disc.
And in 1st place, Mr. Glimki Treefellow.
Woo! I mean, woo! Woo.
Mr. Treefellow, if you will please follow me to the prize table. You may now pick out a prize.
Oh, right. Prize. Okay, so we got a cup that can just turn everything into water?
That's correct. It's the tankard of sobriety.
Does it go the other way at all?
No.
Does it turn other things to water?
Yeah, what else does it turn into water? Or is it just like beers, wine, spirits?
That's correct. Yeah, you can drink from that. Really saps out the alcohol.
Got it. Okay, and then we have a cloak that can turn into whatever garment we want?
Yes, it's going to be a cloak still, but you can change the pattern.
Oh, it'll be just change what the pattern looks like. Okay, not as interesting as I thought. And then the last one was what?
Get the orb.
Oh, that would be the orb of direction. With this, you can always determine which way is north.
Right, we had a whole debate about north apparently being up.
Correct.
Stupid. I feel like, I don't know. I could see some gambits with this cup, but I guess the orb will probably come in the most handy. Yeah, let's do the orb. I'll take the orb. Since we're all on an orb theme anyways.
That is correct. Now, we aren't exactly a egalitarian society here. I'm very much at the top. But we do have a minor sort of meritocracy going on. And because we have a second and second place, it's only fitting that the two of you should be able to pick out a prize from the prize table. Now, Clay Campbell and teenager, and the teenager puts her hand up and says, yes, actually, my name is Jan Tremaine. All right, well, I'll call you a teenager. And the two of you can, arm wrestle or play one more hole or try and break this tie, and the winner can pick out a prize.
Oh, no, you go ahead, teenager.
My name's Jan Tremaine, but
Do you have a preference?
well, I'm not old enough to drink, you see, so if I take the tankard, then I could drink, and it, I think, would be okay. I could be cool at parties without getting in trouble with my parents.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Party, but safely.
Oh my god.
Yes, exactly.
Cool, then I'll take the cloak.
Wonderful.
If you wanted to be cool at parties, you should have won at disc golf.
Our beef isn't with the boy.
I'm a girl.
Child, why do I know your last name, child?
Are you a fan of the seminal TV series Twin Peaks and the character that appears but for a short time but creates quite a bit of drama between Andy and Lucy?
Dick Tremaine?
No. Who's your father?
Dick Tremaine.
So you don't have any relevant family members that might have been at parties or something?
They're relevant to me?
Okay. Enjoy drinking at parties.
Thank you. I
You
will.
get invited to any.
So yes, Glimki, you get a orb of direction. While holding this orb, you can use an action to determine which way is north. This property functions only on the material plane. And Clay, you get a cloak of many fashions. While wearing this cloak, you can use a bonus action to change the style, color, and apparent quality of the garment. The cloak's weight doesn't change. Regardless of its appearance, the cloak can't be anything but a cloak. Although it can duplicate the appearance of other magic cloaks, it doesn't gain their magical properties.
Wow.
Is Clay the kind of person to wear a cloak?
Yeah, but she's wearing it over her armor,
Cool.
which she is now going to wear at all times.
Jararth gathers you all around, says, "Now, the long-awaited free time is here, but not for you, Miss Campbell. I believe we have an appointment for you to draw my portrait. The others, you may return, not return, you may find your bedchambers. You will find a change of clothes, uniform, so that you might better acclimate to our culture and environment. You will find they are lightweight and breathable and yet durable, perfect for this harsh climate that we find ourselves in. Because knowledge is much like a sandstorm. It should really beat you up and take away your breath. But at the end, you'll be polished, shiny like a diamond. Come along, Campbell. It's painting time."
Okay, let's go. I have some ideas for this portrait.
Glimki,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to reason with this guy. I don't like talking to him. I find him I don't know how to it's like when I talk to him, I feel the energy being drained from my body and my will to it's amazing. He's like
He's like a vampire,
yes, I was just going to say a vampire.
an energy vampire.
Wow. Is that a thing in Dwells? That sounds terrifying. I just want to go to his office and like ruin his life and forge a bunch of documents. I don't want to reason with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it. Well, like, here's the thing. I think I've been doing a very bad job, don't know if you can tell, covering up my disdain for this man.
It's
Is it obvious?
I don't know that either of us are doing a great job at it. I think we should just minimize the time we're up to the ruse. It's pretty obvious though, yeah.
Well, maybe, I don't know. You know how, like, all good lies have a hint of truth?
Yes.
What if we just call ourselves out and we say, hey, maybe we're not best suited for this, but there's a better mission for us, and it's the boat thing. You know, like, we just go in there and be like, hey, the camp's not working. But you know what would be better for us is if we name a boat after you and we sail around and we don't need to know the facts. Facts are for...
But we need the supplies.
That's what I'm saying, is we go to him and we tell him, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not the greatest at this. I don't need to know the facts. The facts are for big brains like you to teach other people. We just need to point people in the right direction. So we'll name a boat after you. Give us the shit. We'll be out of your hair.
So I have this perfume that when I wear it makes me super persuasive for a little bit of time. Should we just like pull out the big guns and go for it?
How much of that perfume do we have?
I believe I have like 2 squirts worth. One for me, one for you?
Well, I mean, no, I think you should give it to Clay. They're going to be in there painting this portrait with this man. Pull on some of those vanity metrics and pump his tires a little bit and then pitch it.
Okay, and in the meantime, you and I will check out the hot spring?
No. What? Hot spring?
Yeah, there's a hot spring.
No, we should help Clay.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
And then maybe if there's time before the ship gets, maybe check out the hot springs.
Yeah, maybe we check out the hot springs. Okay, Clay!
Mm-hmm. Wait, am I still here?
You're wandering off. You're maybe like 50 feet away.
Wait up, Clay!
Oh, hurry up. We're gonna go paint the portrait.
You just forgot. Come here, you stinky bitch! Clay! You smell so bad, my friend. Come here and get some perfume.
Oh, thanks, Lady Faunalyn. I do wash under the armor.
No, it's Clay. You smell great as always. No, this perfume will make you extra persuasive for a little bit. So you need to act fast. You need to convince him to fund our ship expedition out of here as soon as possible. Okay?
Oh,
And then also the other details that I said about admitting that we're not good at this and we're better at
Yes.
spreading the theory.
Yes, we're
and
going
they
to be
can come learn the
prophets,
facts
okay?
here.
We're not meant to stay and learn. We're meant to spread the good word, okay? You got that? You're going to talk our way through it?
And no pressure. If you screw this up, we
Well,
will be trapped here for weeks.
And also, we will have wasted this really nice perfume. And I think florals will work with your underlying musk. So, really just waste of an occasion.
how long does it last?
I don't know. Never used it. So, let's act fast, okay?
I mean, okay.
Glimki said pump his tires. So, do that too.
Pump his tire.
Yeah, pump his tires.
Okay.
Like,
Got
inflate
it.
his
I think I
ego.
got it. Okay. It's gonna take me a while to paint a portrait, though.
You're telling us this now? What is a while?
Wait, it's going to take you a long time?
Yeah, how long is a long time?
I mean, it depends on how well he sits.
Yeah, use it.
for
Maybe just give her the bottle. If she feels like it's wearing off, she can give herself another spritz.
Okay, fine. Try to only use one because this stuff is, I think, pretty expensive.
Okay.
Do your best. And Glimki and I are going to check out the hot springs.
No, we'll be right outside. God.
Oh, no, Glimki and I are going to be right outside, just standing in the door doing nothing.
Okay. Will that be fun for you?
No, but a hot spring would be.
Go check out the hot springs then.
No, you can go check out the hot springs. I'll be right outside. God.
No, I'll be right outside.
Can't split. We can't split up anymore. Someone's gonna get killed.
What if we go ask about... no, I don't think anyone here will know anything about shipping ports. The humiliation house and their shipping. Probably. Well, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we gotta do everything we can to get off this island.
Yeah, another thing is I think I need to kidnap Amala and bring her with us.
She's lost, dude. She's off the deep end.
You look over and Amala has changed into a white robe
Mm.
and is chatting with a couple of the locals quite
Oh,
animatedly.
God.
Yeah, she's off the deep end.
Okay, Clay,
She's fully red pilled. I heard them say that earlier. I don't know what it means.
red pilled. Round pilled? Did they say round
pilled. They
pilled?
said round pilled. Sorry, yeah, scratch that.
Oh, I see.
I heard that she's fully round pilled.
Oh,
It's a
I
better
see.
joke.
All yours, my friend. Okay. Clay, okay, pull this off. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then we get the hell out of here, okay?
Okay. So we're getting a boat.
Supplies for boats. Supply for the boat.
Supply for
I
boat.
need all the supplies for the boat to repair the boat to get this thing sailing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
ASAP.
We'll go spread the gospel.
Yes.
Except not gospel. Choose a different word. I don't know. Something science knowledge. Say something about scooping knowledge
Okay.
and suckling from the teat or something.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely mention teats. He loves that.
Let us be the extra teat that the world
Yes.
beyond the island can suckle at or some shit. You'll figure it
We
out.
will be the third nipple. Yes, you'll get it.
Teachers.
Yes.
The
The knowledge.
teachers. That's awesome. She doesn't even need the spray.
No, you don't even need it. No, but you're going to use it anyway. Okay, here's how you apply perfume. You make a cloud and then you walk through it. So, okay, ready?
Okay.
Hold your breath.
Okay, I walk through it. it
Oh, it smells
smells
good.
It's really good, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Can I test if it works?
How do you do so?
Hey, I don't even know what I want.
No, try. I'm fully in.
Hey, you guys want to go check out the hot spring?
Yes.
roll a
Oh my God, yeah.
persuasion.
With advantage.
Oh, it's a persuasion with advantage. Watch me roll like shit though. I rolled a nat 1 and a 4.
That's crazy.
Hey, I don't think it worked.
Maybe it takes a minute. Maybe it needs an activator. You know what I mean? Like maybe it needs to mix with your natural musk. So like when you get sweating or something, it'll be you're good. Glimki Athletic slaps her and and says, "Get in there, champ. You're good." We'll be right
Slap
outside.
people on the ass. It's just so crazy because I wanted to go to the hot springs and then I was so gung ho. I was like, it's going to work, and then Clay said it and I honestly didn't want to go anymore. That's so crazy.
Ah, shit. Okay, so it's like opposite serum. I just have to say the opposite of what we want.
No. No, it's turning on.
Is it? Okay.
Something.
With that, you run to catch up with Jararth, who has not stopped, and he leads you to the second largest dome on I'm going to call it a compound, because there's no other word that really describes what this place is. And you follow him to this large dome, and he pulls out a key from his sequency pocket and opens the door and brings you into this large sort of mansion of sorts. There's multiple rooms that branch off, and you see a very nice kitchen and a dining area and a living room, and he brings you to an office. He says, "Now, we operate on a cash basis here, but on occasion, those that are unable to provide me with a coin that I require to train those seeking knowledge, I do take transfers of wealth in the forms of other items, material goods. So I do believe I've got a decent set of paints and a couple blank canvases that should be to your liking. Now, as the artiste, do you have any suggestions for a pose or how you would like to compose this portrait?"
I've seen some of the portraits you have hanging outside, and the one Kentickathon showed us.
Pretty good, right?
I think I can do better. I think I can offer my skills and create something that really shows off how dedicated you are to knowledge. Something that's even better than what you have now.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's going to be like a headshot from like waist up, and I want you to strike like a really strong, powerful pose.
He grabs a globe and holds it a la Shakespearean actor looking at a skull and starts mewing. How's this?
Oh, perfect. Stay like that, okay? I'll get started. And I'm gonna start painting him.
Could I get a performance check, please? And you can add your proficiency bonus.
15.
Okay. It's starting to come along. It's gonna take a while, lots to do, but you start to, draw in the edges and get the shape of him down, and so far it's pretty good. It's complicated slightly by his desire to talk throughout the entire process, but you figure maybe you can just focus on body and hands and worry about the face at a later date. But as he's holding it, he's occasionally at one point after maybe like an hour of painting, he starts fidgeting with his teeth and says, "Sorry, they start to get a bit uncomfortable this time of night."
Oh, what's up with your teeth?
"Oh, nothing. They're just a little sore, that's all. Don't you have sore teeth?"
No. Why are they sore? You haven't seen a dentist?
No, it's nothing I can't take care of.
Are those veneers, or are they your real teeth?
Are they noticeable?
No, they look great. I'm just saying, like, I know they tend to take a lot of care, and if you don't take care of them, then they can be sore.
Indeed, they're a veneer of sorts, and they do get sore from time to time if I don't pop them off.
I know a doctor back in Erdenine, and he's dabbled in dentistry. He's done some veneers before. I've seen it work.
Oh, well, that's very good. Perhaps I'll have to fly over there sometime and pay him a visit. Or her. I don't know if you gendered that individual, and doctors can be women too.
Wow.
We have many problems here at the Jar Learning Center, but sexism is not one of them.
I'm glad to hear it.
Can't wait to see the comments on this episode. Get his ass, supers.
I have an idea for this portrait, okay? All this talk of suckling at the teat of knowledge.
He pulls out a bottle of milk. Do you want me to hold this as well?
No. One thing missing from all of your portraits is that I can't help but notice there's a certain flatness to you. Turn the portrait around and it's like the AI restoration of your grandpa, but he's got like a huge bust. It's like him, the prominent feature is huge globes right on his head. 2 of them.
Tits!
You gave him big naturals?
He's gonna love that.
Okay, you have to see the vision here. The roundness, the fullness, that represents all the nurturing work you've put into
Oh my god.
the round Zav society. What do you think?
Give me a persuasion check, and you do not get advantage on this.
What? You should get double advantage. One for each titty.
Kid you not, I just rolled a nat 20.
No way.
Oh
He
my
takes the
God.
globe that he's holding and like lowers it to his own chest. Why not?
Oh
Perhaps you're right.
my god.
Perhaps it's time for a change.
I'm glad you agree. And I'm the only one who can replicate this portrait of you, and I am willing to do so all around Zav. All I need is a ship, the supplies for a ship, and me and my friends, we will spread this image of you and all it represents to non-believers everywhere.
You're a genius, and I'm afraid of you.
Now, that is a mighty fascinating proposition. I assume I've heard of the Captain Depthsbane's recent problems. I reckon I could provide some supplies, to be sure, for a fee, of course, payable by the captain. But I do not have a ship myself to provide, you see.
No, just the supplies to help Captain Depthsbane get back up on her feet.
Indeed. I'm sure I could arrange for that to happen. And in return, how many of these portraits are you planning on providing?
During my time here, while the ship is getting repaired, I'm willing to give you as many as I can make, and then I will keep making them as long as, we're sailing and I can spread the good word to everyone.
Give me... no. Natural 20 speaks for itself.
Don't have to roll again.
No.
I waft my perfume.
Oh my God. The image of the picture is so vivid.
It's insane.
I'll draw it for you.
Oh,
I'll
you
draw
have a
it
beautiful
for you.
mind.
Thank you.
That's
Please.
I'm wearing the cloak of many fashions. I would like to use a bonus action to make it as sequined as his outfit.
Amazing.
oh my god.
Amazing. He stops and he puts the globe down, and he looks at you and seems to notice the amulet around your neck. He says, by any chance, are you a priest of Macrog?
Yeah, I'm a follower. That's right. I show him the amulet. This is something the Bright Scale in Erdene gave me.
Remarkable. I have not had the opportunity to travel to Erdene, but I have heard wondrous things about the Bright Scale there, and, well, I have a healthy respect for the Father of Dragons.
That's great to hear. How do your beliefs line up with the Divine Octad?
Well, I don't think they're in opposition, other than the fact that the church thinks it's heresy that I preach the truth. You do notice that teenager out there, the one that played disc golf with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a spy, an auditor of the High Church.
What?
They send one every few years to make sure we're not causing too much trouble, and I figure it's easier to just keep on speaking the truth and don't call them out. They might change tactics, and it's much easier to keep an eye on them when I know who they are. They always have a certain holier-than-thou stink to them.
Oh, I mean, they're quite young. Are you sure? How can you tell?
Ain't nothing that a bit of moisturizer can't fix.
You're saying they're not a teenager?
I'm pretty sure that is a 30 to 40-year-old woman.
Oh.
Is this true or is he just paranoid as fuck?
Yeah.
There are many ways to change one's appearance here in our wondrous round world, and perhaps it's more than moisturizer, but I'd be willing to bet a sizable piece of my fortune that that individual is an auditor, and as soon as their time here is done in 2 weeks' time, they'll report back and say that I'm a harmless loon who ought to know better, but ultimately I'm not causing much harm, and that'll be that for the next few years.
And have you ever successfully convinced any of these auditors through knowledge and learning, through the lessons that you teach here?
Of a sorts. One early on spent some time in the Reformation Chamber, and it seemed to make a difference, but the audits came faster and more furious in the years that followed, so it seemed like more hassle than it was worth. I can tell when someone's here with good intention and a willingness to learn, and I think I can see that within you. You seem to be a bit of an open vessel with which one might pour one's knowledge into. What about that friend of yours, the short one? He seems a little combative, shall we say.
Glimki? He's totally an open vessel. He's so keen on learning. I think you just haven't gotten a chance to know him well yet. But I'm going to take him with me, and we're going to spread your portrait across Zav, all around it, full circle in all directions. Yep.
Including up, apparently.
Yeah.
Could you make another persuasion check without advantage?
Okay.
As you're talking with this guy, there was this you weren't able to convince your friends outside that the hot spring was where they wanted to go, but there was a resistance. You could sense they were fighting off the effects of this perfume, and you have not seen that in Jar Arith. It seems like it is not having any real impact upon him.
Ooh.
Ooh. Resistant, maybe.
I rolled a 12.
We'll see. Like I said, I have a pretty good nose for bullshit, and when an individual is here for the right reasons.
I can see you sniffed out that spy. I didn't even notice anything was off. I thought that was a teenager for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, I've just got some finishing touches on this portrait if you want to strike the pose again.
Of course. And he returns to his original position, and you continue to paint him for the next few hours.
And if you ever want to make the vision a reality, like I said, I know a surgeon in Erdenine.
I will keep that in mind. This has definitely awoken something within me.
My work here is done.
And you present him with this beautiful portrait, this transformative portrait.
Oh my God.
While that has been happening, Faunalyn and Glimki, what have you been up to?
Oh, I was going to ask if we were close enough to eavesdrop at all.
We'll say you follow at a distance, and this heavy door is closed behind them, and you start looking for a window to peer through or a crack that you can listen through. And as you are doing so, an individual dressed in all white, but wearing a very large white hat with a thick brim, kind of covers half his face, says, "You looking for something, partner?"
Where the hell did you come from?
Is he talking to us? Yeah, who's this guy?
You see anyone else I'm talking to with 2 legs and 2 legs and 2 arms and 2
Oh
arms?
my
A head and
God.
a head?
No way.
What?
Marlin, is that you?
You look over and you see a tall, gaunt man with this wide-brimmed hat. He has got a bit of a stubble on. He's got a cigar hanging out of his mouth that just kind of half chewed down. And he says, "How'd you know that name?"
Wait, are you not Marlin?
I don't think Marlin was tall.
Tall,
Marlin-
right?
Marlin's
No.
a
He's a
halfling.
halfling.
Halfling,
Marlin-
yeah.
Who is
Wait.
this?
We go way back with Marlin. He helped us with an investigation in Erdenine.
The old coot's still hanging out in Erdenine, huh?
Yeah, and in fact, we have an arrangement to share some intel, whichever one of us helps discover Sahari. Wait, I'm telling you way too much information. Who the hell are you?
It's a small round world we live upon, friends. And he pulls off this hat and it reveals this sort of older face, maybe a guy in his mid-50s. He's like I say, he's got a cigar and he's got a big scar under his left eye. He says, "Name's Slade Chronic. I used to be Marlin's partner."
What?
Is this the one that
Wait.
got shot on his
What?
birthday or something?
Weren't you shot by a broad? A broad who came out of a cake? 2 days after you looked like you were gonna die?
Well, that's the thing. Evidently you know Marlin. Evidently you know Marlin.
Better than you, I guess.
Brain dead.
He's a, shall we say, difficult character to associate with, and got to a point where, frankly, I'd had enough. So it was my birthday, and I ordered a big cake, and I hired an assassin to
faked it.
fake my death.
No way!
Oh my god.
Why? Just to get away from Marlin?
He's a force of nature, and if he was alive, or if he knew I was alive, he'd be here. So I
This is
did what I had to
insane.
do. I traveled the world for quite some time, kept trying to work. I was more of a bounty hunter, so I returned to that for some time, but Eventually, I found myself on the shore of Cabarrus. Tired, broken, massive infection from a shot to my chest that was supposed to be a fake, but they used a real bolt, and took me quite some time to get that fixed.
What?
And they took me in here at the Jar Learning Center, and I found peace for the first time.
Honestly, I don't blame you. I think I would actually kill myself to get away from Marlin.
Well,
You get it.
Yeah, no,
it's
he's
been kind of helpful.
he's one of the worst people I've ever met.
And he's my best friend.
You know, you've given him lifelong trust issues with women. Do you know, he literally every conversation, he says, never trust a broad, never trust a dame, because he thinks all women will kill your partner. It's very sexist.
To be fair, he was like that before. You should have seen every time I tried to bring a girl around
Oh, God.
the agency, it was miserable.
Okay.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Okay, well, this is very interesting. I guess we shouldn't tell Marlin that you're alive.
He tips his hat to you and says, I'd appreciate if you didn't. And then wraps an invisible cloak around himself.
Wait, whoa, hold on.
Asked a two-bit wizard for a cloak of invisibility, and this is what I got.
Oh my god, you and Marlin.
Turned out all right because we're not really supposed to have material possessions, but I was able to hold on to this, and the other acolytes don't know about it. It's my little secret.
Of course, we can be discreet about seeing you, but I just feel like it might help our memory later when we see Marlin, just remembering that we're not supposed to say anything about you being exactly here. If you gave us the... 1 second. Glimki, what am I extorting him for?
Nothing. I don't know this guy. If anything, extorting him. Why don't we just ask him? Why are you here? What do you think about this people?
Well, he's clearly part of the cult.
Are you part of the cult?
Yeah, are you part of the cult?
Do you think the world is round?
He definitely has said the world is round and stuff already. He's definitely in.
Been all around this big round world, and I can tell you if there's one thing I know, it really seemed like it was flat for the longest time. And then I came here, and everything sort of bent into shape, and I could see the error of my ways.
Okay, but then you still haven't, you haven't seen anything yourself.
I've seen many things, many lectures from Jar.
Oh, God. Okay. Okay, well, we won't tell Marlin Whisperhands. You didn't see us either, I guess. Is there something that we can extort out of this guy? I mean,
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Right?
I'm sorry, it was... What's your name?
Slade Chronic.
Yeah, Slade Chronic. Sorry. I don't mean to be blunt, but we kind of have to be now. Look, just don't tell Jar that you saw us snooping around, and we won't tell Marlin that we saw you here.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Fair's fair. I'll be seeing you around. And he draws the cloak up over him like a vampire, and you can see him perfectly.
You have no interest in leaving this place? Sorry.
What? Oh, 1 second. No interest at all. I was a broken, paranoid man before I found this place.
Alright.
And in many ways, it restored my health and took away all my money, which I usually spent on booze and women, so...
Okay, well...
It's not so bad.
Alright.
Not so bad at all.
Alright, get out of here, Slade.
Goodbye, Chronic.
Draws up the cloak and stalks off.
Oh my god. Him and Marlin are soulmates.
Yeah, truly.
Wow.
What the hell?
You know, it occurred to me, if Clay doesn't pull it off in there, full faith in Clay, but if Clay doesn't pull it off in there, then maybe we can, extort Mr. Chronic to see if he knows any secret ways off the island.
Oh, we didn't... Oh, shit. Yeah.
I know, I didn't think of it till after. Sometimes I just, the blackmail instinct kicks in first, and then I have to think about what I even want from someone.
Yeah. I was just...
Very
thinking
transactional
about-
view of relationships.
Yeah. Player-wise, I was thinking about how we heard Jar. I didn't hear it. Clay heard it. Heard him say fly. And I was like, fly?
Yeah.
He said, maybe I'll fly over to
Fly.
Erdenine. I don't know if there's something there.
No, I should have asked. He doesn't have a boat, but maybe he has a plane.
Or a dragon. I don't know. He said dragon as well. Something about liking
We
dragons.
should have.
Oh,
You
I
can
think there's
call.
something
You can call
there,
Mr.
but we're
Chronic
not
back.
there.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops.
I mean, you're still there.
yeah, true. I could still talk to
Oops.
Jar.
That's all we did. We got distracted by Slade Chronic.
Yeah.
I will say the three of you wander around for a while, exploring.
Oh, am I done with Jar?
Yeah, I'll say the two of them, they wander around for a while and then eventually make their way to their rooms. You find them and you see your stuff has been brought there, and there is a closet full of robes all white with these brass accent marks, and a little instruction, like a little note card requesting that you wear these going forward. And Clay, you get out a few hours later after painting this portrait, and we'll say the three of you gather at dinner. There's this large dining hall. It's one of the larger domes in the compound, and you gather there, and it is a fusion restaurant nightmare. Everything's a ball. Everything is like either a souffle
Now they make
or
it balls.
a
Girl balls?
Nope, there is contract negotiations between the crew of the Vigilant and the Jar Arith folk about whether they can poach Chef Girl RD. Unfortunately, she is committed to her job on the Vigilant, but maybe there's some corporate espionage because there's some very similar looking dishes served this evening. Everything is round, everything is orb shaped, and the three of you sit there. Perhaps Amala joins you, and a man, he's a dwarf in his, he's like in his 40s presenting, so which means he's probably 100 and change, sits down across the table opposite you and plops down a tray, and this little souffle pops and deflates, and he says, "Well, that's blasphemy. How are you folks doing? You enjoying the learning center so far?"
You
It's
know it.
amazing. It's really transformative,
So far, we've only really played disc golf.
which was kind of fun.
Yes, it's been a lot of metaphor and
Mhm.
disc golf.
That makes sense. Well, how about a magic show?
Let us have it.
Are
Yeah.
you doing the magic?
What kind of magic?
And he says, "Wait, hold on a second. You got something right there in your ear." And he grabs your ear, Glimki, and pulls hard, and your just head
fuck?
comes with him. He's like, fuck, it's been a long time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ow.
I messed up. That's not how it's supposed to go.
Clearly.
Let me try again. And he
No.
punches you in the side of the head. Ah! I was never any good
Get
at this to
away
begin
from
with.
me.
I'm sorry. My name's Hamish. I mean you no harm. I am a magician, but I'm a
God.
street magician in a world of real magic, you see. And so it was my vocation for many years. I tried to do shows on the street. No one cared. Some asshole would walk by and do a little thaumaturgy, a little prestidigitation, and everyone would, throw shit at me. So I gave up. Traveled the world, came to the one place where they still didn't like my magic, but I felt welcome all the same.
That's awesome. Clay, how did it go in there?
Oh,
Yeah, Hamish, sorry. Like, if you want to do your little magic thing, that's cool. Just
So cool.
like do it over there, maybe.
yeah. And try not to touch people without asking.
Yeah, try not to.
And also, like, look at this. And then Glimki reaches behind Faunalyn's ear and produces a coin using minor illusion. It's like, I don't know.
Ooh,
It's not that
Faunalyn
hard.
claps.
All right, guess I'll go fuck myself. Ta-ta.
Now you get it.
For my next trick, I guess I'll make myself disappear. And he gets up from the table and
And we
walks
all
off.
boisterously applause.
Like, I love a zany character as much as the next guy, but
I like how we're slowly turning into like the cast of Seinfeld or Always Sunny. Like we're just like assholes to every character. Hamish, get the fuck out of here.
this is like a 4-hour recording session and we have stuff to do.
Not now, Hamish.
Hamish, buddy, not the time.
Heard. sorry for bothering you folks. For my next trick, I'm going to retroactively add myself to a villain montage. Ta-ta! And he walks
Oh
off.
man, we were kind of mean to that guy.
And I feel bad. Well, I just don't know what value I could add to the conversation there.
Oh, about the Ja'areth conversation. I give the perfume bottle back to Faunalyn. I don't think it worked that well. I don't know if it made any difference on him.
Oh. Fallow doesn't have a perfect nose, so maybe the notes were wrong.
I'm thinking maybe he's had a nose job and can't smell.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So, how did it go in there, though?
Pretty good. Do you want to see a sketch of the portrait I made for him?
Sure.
Yeah, I show it. And then I tell them about the conversation and the ship supplies and everything.
Faunalyn chokes on the glass of milk she was just drinking.
What do you guys think? I think this is one of my greater pieces.
Dear God, Clay! I mean, it's.
Have you shown anybody else this?
Yeah, Ja'areth. We're going to show everyone.
But that's it.
So far, yeah. I don't
That's
know.
good.
Maybe he's
That's
wanting
good.
to keep it for like a big reveal or something. But
Is he
Oh yeah,
letting
we
us
could.
go?
This will be a big reveal, that's for sure.
2 big reveals, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like if there were 2 Zavs, you know? In his eyes, at least.
So this guy thinks the world is round
Wow.
and there's 2 of them?
I mean,
Oh my god.
What the hell?
who knows?
It's some of your breast work.
Science
I mean,
can prove
best
one
work. You did a really good job.
Thank you, thank you.
It's tits, yeah.
Tits.
What? So, a boat? We can go on a boat, or what?
Yeah, so he says he doesn't have any boats of his own, but he's perfectly willing to negotiate supplying a Captain Dep Spain's ship.
Oh my god, I can't believe that worked. Magician, come back here and do a celebratory trick.
He is off talking to the Perez brothers and Ptolemy Henkel, and they're watching with a mix of fascination and open contempt on the part of Ptolemy. And you watch as he reaches over and punches Ruckus in the head, and Ruckus says, "Ha ha ha! That's a good trick! My turn!" And he does the same thing to his brother. And then Tucker reaches over and punches Ptolemy, and Ptolemy just is knocked unconscious.
Oh no.
I swear to God, if Ptolemy ends up being a round earther, I'm gonna lose my mind.
You know what, guys? There is thing is, I'm actually okay with Amala staying here because I just kind of feel like, yeah, it's suspicious, but at the end of the day, there's good food, recreation, and like a fun and interesting cast of people to get to know. Like, it's not so bad here, you know?
And then next thing you know, they're holed up in a standoff with the military.
What?
We'll
Are
be
you
talking
like
about this.
referencing something?
Yeah, like this wacko. Or it might be pronounced Waco. I'm not sure.
As you're having this conversation, I know I said Amala maybe was with you. I've decided maybe not. Amala runs over and slams a tray down. She says, "You've got to get me out of here.
Whoa.
Why?
What's up? What's happening?
What
There's
happened?
no booze on the entire island. Something about it being bad for knowledge. I need to go home now."
Darling, I hear you 100%. We're going to get a ship and we're going to get you out of here. I hear you, darling. Next island over.
Thank you. Give me that milk. I'm going to see if I can ferment it in the sun.
Oh.
She's not gonna make it back to Erdene.
Oh.
Not the fermented milk.
As dinner wraps up, Jar Arth stands up at the front of the dining hall. Can a circle have a front? He stands up somewhere where everyone can see, perhaps the center. "Now, friends, that was a fine feast and just the beginning of your educational journey. I encourage you all to get some rest, get some shut-eye. The morning session will begin at 10 a.m. and our day will begin in earnest. We're going to learn a great deal. Well, I'm not going to learn much because I kind of know everything, but you are all going to learn a great deal from me. How lucky for you."
Woo! Clay starts clapping again.
I just can't stop picturing him with gigantic natural breasts.
Yeah, it's literally Clay applauding and Faunalyn and Glimki just looking at him like, oh, like what?
Chins on hands and head tilted.
Does it work, maybe?
I like him better with the boobs for sure.
Yeah, something kind of like it makes him feel more human somehow.
Yeah, like more yeah, more nurturing somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see my vision.
Maybe it's the tits.
You know what? I haven't even hardly noticed them, but it could be.
It could be.
Clay, you are a visionary.
Good work, Clay. You've humanized what I previously thought was a.
Oh no. Maybe I've made him more effective. That's a good thing.
I'm certainly affected.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
part
Maybe
of
we
the
don't show
ruse.
anybody this.
But just draw like an extra copy from me and then don't show anybody else.
Knowing him, he's gonna put it behind such a high paywall that maybe no one will ever see this.
Good point. Okay, so we're gonna have a ship within a few days, yeah?
I
think so.
don't know. Yeah, I hope that's the timeline. I don't know.
Okay.
Did he say like exactly how long this is gonna take?
He did not specify. I think that would be a conversation between himself and the captain and figuring out just how much damage has been done to the ship and even with support, how long it takes to repair it.
Okay.
One last question. Where's the teenager? Is she eating also?
Yeah, she's kind of off to the side by herself. You see Slade Chronic is kind of staring at her very suspiciously, and she's kind of staring right back at him very suspiciously. And they're both eating watermelon balls at the exact same time.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Faunalyn and Glimki what Zhao said about her being a spy and also a 30-year-old.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to align with the child.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a child, but a spy.
I don't know if what he said had any truth to it or if he was paranoid, but hey, that guy looks kind of like Marlon Whisper's hands. Who's that?
Oh my god. Slade Chronic.
You're not gonna believe this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He is Marlon's best friend and ex-partner.
I thought they died.
Exactly.
What?
He faked it. The whole thing just to get away from Marlon.
Just to get away from him? Oh.
Just to get away from Marlon.
I mean,
It's understandable though, right?
I would do the same.
No, it's kind of sad. Dang, you guys. I kind of like that guy.
You didn't know Marlon the way I know Marlon.
I mean, he was on to me. He was like investigating me for the
Oh,
cards.
true facts. Sorry, you know what? You're right. I forgot about the whole thing about you being like proxy involved with this whole thing.
Yeah, but Glimki, the never trust abroad part is forgivable.
Wow, what a long. The silence speaks for itself.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if me introducing this character trait was my favorite thing.
He's on a journey of discovery. Who knows where it'll lead?
That's what we're
We're
here.
learning. We're
here
all
to
learning.
learn. Exactly. So, I mean, barring any other way off the island, to be honest, I'm a little bit suspicious that there isn't another way off. I feel like this guy, I don't know, it just seems strange to me that there's only like one way in and out.
No, if this guy is a wealthy cult leader, like let's just go out and say it. He's got to have his own transport.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he's just chilling on this desert island all the time.
The captain did say like other ships pass by here. Also, portals exist. Maybe we should research how to make portals.
Yeah, that would
Oh, interesting.
be a good idea. That kind of portal door that we saw before was
Uh-huh.
pretty interesting.
Okay, so perhaps tonight we enjoy the revelry. I actually do kind of want to see the magic show. I think it's hilarious when he punches people in the head. And then tomorrow we work on potentially pursuing other ways off the island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or just making sure like some people could look for alternative ways off. Maybe some people just make sure that like the ball is rolling with getting our supplies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And while we're at it, we'll check out like the hot springs or whatever.
If we have free time, because I guess we are obligated to go to these fucking classes.
Well,
I do have to paint. Do a couple more sessions.
Oh yeah, you keep cracking away at this art.
I'll ask him maybe about his like travel experience and how he gets around.
Yes, that's a good idea.
nice.
If you could do another
Okay, and-
session with him for sure. Try to get as much out of him as possible.
Definitely.
For sure.
And then maybe we can, ask that chronic man if he's ever seen anything. He's been here for a while, a few years. So,
True, but I wonder how much he'd be willing to give up. He seems pretty round-pilled as well.
no, we're going to extort him. Don't worry. We're going to
Okay,
extort
got
him.
it.
Yeah. Don't worry.
A page out of Faunalyn's playbook.
Exactly. Never goes wrong.
Dinner concludes and people filter out into the evening air. The sun has set since you were last outside. The stars sparkle above you, and you each return to your separate rooms. Your own little domes with your white linens and wash basins, closet full of matching white robes. You close your eyes, you fall asleep, and as you do, Glimki, you hear a voice. Green Knight. So close. Yet so far. Perhaps you could help me. Perhaps you can save me.
Hello?
You open your eyes
And for a second, perhaps you expect to be in an endless field or an infinitely tall mountain range, or perhaps upon the back of a crow. But instead, you are in a small dome, a dwelling for one, and looming over your bed is an individual that at first you can't really get a grasp on. You can't really take them in. And you realize it's because they are constantly shifting and moving, and it appears to be a humanoid composed entirely of flower petals.
Whoa. What the hell? Who are you?
My name. So many have forgotten. I'm Etigan, the first bloom. I don't have long. Will you come find me?
Where are you? Etigan, where can I find you?
You can find me on... And already the petals are starting to drift apart and fall to the floor. Come find me.
I just anything, a clue, a hint, Etigan, anything.
They are gone.
What the hell? Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm in the sleeping dome?
Yeah, everyone has their own, so you're by yourself.
Okay, I guess I'll take a peek out. Is there anyone outside of my dome?
It is quiet. It seems everyone in the compound has gone to sleep. You don't see any sight of anyone, and you don't see any footprints leading up to your door.
And do we have access to all of our stuff?
You do. Your stuff has not been taken, but you have been requested to leave it in your rooms, particularly weapons and the like, and to wear the provided robes.
Okay, well, Glimki's gonna hastily go back into his room, and he's gonna put on his chainmail and very hastily. He's gonna leave like some of the other extra stuff, like he's not taking his pack with him, like all like the extra stuff, but he's gonna put on his chainmail. He's gonna tie his sword to his belt. He's gonna pick up his shield, and then he's gonna wrap the robe around himself, and then he's gonna go back out and see if he can see any clues.
Okay. You start to wander around, almost like a meditation garden. You see that there's a natural order to this scattering of domes, and you start walking around in growing circles, looking for anything, really. And before long, you realize that your traversing has brought you to the edge of the compound. Open desert lays beyond. You pull out your orb and see it's pointing north.
He's gonna look back at the compound and then up into the night sky, and then just ask Mulari, just like send some words out to see if anything will hear him. Mulari, I know we've had some hard moments in the past little while, but I need some guidance. I think I saw some sort of nature spirit again calling to me, and I don't want to offend you or make our relationship any harder than it already is, but can you just let me know if it's okay if I try to help them? Something is telling me something's wrong.
This orb in your hand, it's not like a physical marker on it. It's like embeds in your mind the direction of north. You know where north is. And as you say this prayer, you smell home. You smell pine needles and fresh air and flowers, and the wind shifts, kicking up little clouds of desert sand. And it's not blowing north, but a little off of that, northeast. It is a warm breeze, a comforting breeze, and you feel acceptance in it.
Okay. And I hope that my friends will understand as well. And Glimki will pull the hood up over his flower and leafy hair and walk off into the desert.
Oh my god.
What?
You set off. You walk for perhaps an hour. The compound disappears into the dark behind you, no longer visible despite the clear night and the gleaming moons above. You keep walking, and suddenly you stumble. And as you catch yourself, you're realizing you're standing in a footprint. A large footprint, as big as you. You pull yourself up and you keep walking in the direction of the wind that's persistent behind you, pushing you forward. There's these sand dunes around you, towering above you, pulling you forward, guiding your path. And then one of them moves. A colossal shape rises up out of the desert and starts charging towards you. Boom, boom, boom. It's hard to make out in the dark. The features are blurry. Sand kicks up and swirls around this shape. And as it bears down upon you, you hold your hand up, perhaps your shield, and close your eyes, preparing for impact. And then it sweeps over you. Sand washes over you. Footprints in the sand run right up to you. And as you're getting your bearings, a voice from behind you says, "I can always tell when someone's going to be difficult." You feel the air change. Something heavy and intoxicating fills your lungs. And as the world goes dark, a crow cries out in the distance. And that's where we'll stop tonight's episode of Bard Soup.
Brr, brr, brr.
Thank you so much for listening to Chapter 24 of Bard Soup. Where's Jack Bauer when you need him? I have been your culturally irrelevant dungeon master, Zach Meikle, joined by Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, Jordan Johnsen as Glimki Treefellow, and Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark. A huge thank you once again to Q for the amazing intro. We loved it. I love it. If you're interested in submitting your own intro, you can reach out to us at shazam.mp4@gmail.com. If you're enjoying the show, how about leave a 5-star review? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know the deal. I say it every damn week. And while you're at it, follow us at bard_soup on Instagram and TikTok. And check out bardsoup.com for good old fun. Bye-bye.